time for Brooklyn Dodger baseball.
Light up the lucky, it's baseball time. Happy-go-lucky, it's Dodger time. Settle back in your chair, there's baseball in the air right now. It's Dodger time.
Thank you, Dorothy Collins. This is Jerry Doggett with Vin Scully and Al Helfer. Here we are at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, where we're about to bring you the Dodgers and the Pittsburgh Pirates in a big doubleheader. Today's games, like all the Dodger games this season, will be brought to you by Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. It's made by the American Tobacco Company. Tobacco is our middle name. And the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of Schaefer Beer, America's oldest lager beer. Well, sir, once again, it's that particular moment when the ballpark looks quite familiar. Everything is coming to order. The fans are fastening the seatbelts, and that last finishing touch is being made to Ye Old Diamond. And it won't be long now, but long enough to reach for a pack of matches, or a lighter if you prefer, and a pack of Lucky Strikes. Put the two together, a light and a lucky, and man, you've done it. You found yourself genuine smoking enjoyment, because a Lucky's a genuine cigarette. All cigarettes. Every wonderful bit of it. All fine tobacco. Ever so mild, naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. And to this, I can only add what I consider a very smart suggestion. If you haven't tried a Lucky lately, let no more time go by. Light up a Lucky right now. You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Brooklyn National League Baseball Club, Incorporated, solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Brooklyn National League Baseball Club, Incorporated, is prohibited. Well, on a very fine Sunday Easter afternoon, we're set for a great big doubleheader between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Brooklyn Dodgers. And on the pitching mound, it'll be Don Newcombe going against Vernon Law in the first game here. The Dodgers red hot, opening the season with 3 straight wins, opening against Philadelphia with a win at Philadelphia, and then coming back to Ebbets Field to post 2 victories over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Doubleheader today, and then tomorrow, the Dodgers will move to Jersey City to open up the season in Jersey against the Philadelphia Phils. Had a real fine performance yesterday by young Johnny Padres to win by 2-0 score. And Johnny flanked the Pirates and did a very fine job and looked real sharp in so doing. So today, Don Newcombe will go out after his first win of the year. Don, of course, drew the opening assignment down in Philadelphia and was relieved by Clem Labine, who went on to get the win. Right now, as we get set to play ball here, Emmett Kelly entertaining fans and on the field. And right now, let's listen to our national anthem. Crowd on hand this Easter Sunday afternoon, getting settled down now for lots of baseball entertainment. The umpires are coming out, and this one should be underway in just a few moments. So let's run down the starting lineups for you. For the visiting Pittsburgh Pirates, led by manager Bobby Bragan, leadoff man will be Roberto Clemente, playing in right field. In center field will be Bill Verdon. At first base will be Skinner. At third base, Thomas. And in left field, Paul Smith. At shortstop will be Dick Grote. The catcher, Hank Foyles. Bill Mazeroski batting in the number 8 spot, playing second base, and Vernon Law on the mound to do the pitching. For the Dodgers, it'll be Gilliam at second base, Samoli in left field, Snyder in center, Perillo in right field, Hodges at first, Jackson will be at third, Campanella catching, Zimmer at shortstop, and the pitcher, Big Don Newcombe. Newcombe, 27-7 last year, has an 8-game winning streak against the Pirates with 6 victories in 1956, 2 back in 1955. In the past 2 years, he has won every one of his 8 starts against Pittsburgh, pitching 2 complete games in his 2 1955 starts and 4 complete games in 6 1956 starts. He has lost to the Pirates last on September 6, 1954, way back then, 9-7 here at Brooklyn. Vernon Law was 8-16 last year and made 5 unsuccessful starts against the Dodgers last season, lasting only 14 innings in the 5 games and losing 3 times. His last win against Brooklyn was on July 6, 1955, 4-1 at Pittsburgh. The Dodgers have been receiving excellent pitching. In fact, they have not allowed an earned run in the last 25 innings since the overtime ball game down in Philadelphia. The team earned run average is 1.50. So in the 3 ball games, in the 30 innings the Dodgers have played, there have been just 5 earned runs, and those came against Newcombe in the first 5 innings of the 1957 season. So a very fine earned run average for the team, for the staff, of 1.50. Labine has worked 5 innings, allowed no earned runs. Magley has worked 9, allowed 1 run, it was unearned. Newcombe worked 7 innings, allowed 5 earned runs, and Padres with a shutout yesterday. So a real fine performance so far by the pitching staff. The hitters have been doing right well, too. A team batting average of 278, and they've clubbed out 7 home runs. So the batters have found the range as soon as the bell rang. And leading the home run parade, of course, Snyder and Hodges each have a pair. Samoli, Perillo, Zimmer each have 1. The Dodgers have taken the field now. Jackson at third, Zimmer at shortstop. At second base, Gilliam, and at first base will be Hodges. In left field, Samoli. In center field, Snyder. And in right field is Carl Perillo. Campanella catching, and Newcombe on the mound, firing him down here. Lee Walls, the Pirates outfielder who was hurt yesterday, left the ball game with 4 stitches on his left finger, on his right finger, rather. Second finger of the right hand. He was stepped on by the umpire in the play at third base early in the ball game and had to leave, so he'll be out of the lineup for a few days, and Paul Smith is subbing in for him in the Pittsburgh outfield. The umpires for today's game, Burkhart at the plate, Vargas, Gorman, and Dixon on the bases, and as Newcombe warms up, Burkhart leans over and also warms up, takes a few pitches as they come in there, kind of getting the old eyeballs tuned up ready for this one. And Roberto Clemente standing by. We might say right now it's a long afternoon of baseball, a big doubleheader this Easter Sunday afternoon. Plenty of seats here at Ebbets Field, so why don't you make your plans to come on out right now and see a lot of baseball. And right now, stepping in here for Lucky Strike and for the play-by-play, here's Vince Scully. Vince?
Thank you, Jerry, and good afternoon, everybody, and a very pleasant Easter Sunday to you, wherever you may be. Bob Clemente, then Bill Burton, and Bob Skinner. Should anybody get on, maybe we'll see Frank Thomas. Big Newcombe sends the first pitch in there and is promptly lined to right field for a clean single. Clemente makes his turn and holds on as Perillo gets the ball back into Gilliam, and so the Pirates come up, first ball swinging, and Clemente singles to right. And so we have begun. Lucky Strike blowing that big fat smoke ring to you. Maybe we ought to be blowing Easter eggs to you today. But our best wishes go along. As Bill Burton comes up, Bill batting .273, left-hand batter, as you know, good speed. Jackson, although wide of the bag at third, is up on the edge of the infield grass. Hodges holding Clemente on, but Gill will be ready to jump off the bag with a left-hand batter up there. Newcombe takes a peek at first. Now Don comes with a changeup that's hit sharply foul outside of first and down into the Dodger bullpen. 0-1 the count. Don Newcombe and Vernon Law in this first game, and the second game will find Ronnie Klein and Don Drysdale. Roger Craig will be pitching tomorrow afternoon against the Philadelphia Phillies when we open up Roosevelt Stadium at Jersey City. Denny Murtaugh coaching at first for the Pirates, retrieve that foul ball. Manager Bobby Bragan around at third. Big Newcombe comes set, checking Clemente. Now the strike 1 pitch, fastball, and that's in there. Strike 2. We have plenty of seats, especially in the upper deck off third base. There's choice seats, too, and they're wide open. And all the way down the line and out in the outfield. So if you're anywhere in the vicinity of Ebbets Field, making up your mind as to what kind of a crowd there'd be today, but we have the seats, and we hope you'll come on out with us. Big Nuke ready, and the strike 2 pitch. Fastball just outside, moving it away from Burden. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Easter Sunday, 1957. And boy, the old song, "Did You Ever See a Dream Walking," should be taken out of mothballs today. Boy, there's some pretty people out. The 1 and 2 pitch now is cut on. There's a high pop fly into shallow left. Zimmer going out, Samoli coming on. Gino calling and takes it for the out. Bob Clemente gets back to first. So Burden pops out into very shallow left field. 1 out. And here's Bob Skinner.
Number 4, Bob Skinner, first baseman.
Bob Skinner, left-hand batter. He's a pretty good hitter. However, he's been edged out at first base by Dale Long. Skinner waiting at the plate. Newcombe ready and comes to him. And the fastball, a 1 bouncer, short hop by Zimmer. He goes, Dan can't pick it up, and everybody's safe. Zimmer short hopped that ball and tried to feed over to Gilliam, and the ball just kicked off his wrist and dropped to his right, and it goes as an error. So had Zimmer been able to shave with the short hopper, he'd have the double play. Instead, he missed everything, and Skinner is safely on at first on the shortstop's error. So Little Jim makes an error, and the Pirates have runners at first and second with 1 out. And Frank Thomas stepping in. That ball exploded right at Zimmer's feet. Kicked off the heel of his glove, then when he tried to grab it in his anxiety to get the runner at second, he couldn't do it. Newcombe turns on the rubber now and comes set. Checks his runners and comes to the plate. A fastball a trifle high, ball 1. Zimmer, like any young ball player, is over-anxious. That's why he'll boot most of these. But if he continues to play every day for a while, as Reese, with the idle back, has to sit them out, Don will no doubt settle down. He's just too anxious to pick that ball up and get something started. 1 ball and no strikes. On deck, Paul Smith. Newcombe in a jam here in the first inning with 1 out. Turns now and throws back to Zimmer, who one-hands it as Clemente is easily back to the bag. One ball and no strikes to Frank Thomas. Newcombe set, looks to his runners, now works the plate, and the fastball is belted high and deep to left field. Back goes Samoli. Snyder coming over and calling near the wall. Duke takes it for the out. Clemente tags up and then holds. As Snyder throws a 1 bouncer about 5 feet up the line off third. So Thomas hit the ball well, but Snyder going back to the left center field wall hauled it in, and the runners hold. 2 down in the first inning, and that brings up Paul Smith. Smitty, a left-hand batter. 0 for 4. He started against Sal Magley the other day on opening day. Hit 3 fly balls and bounced out once to the infield. Smallest left-hand batter playing left field today in the absence of Lee Walls. Clemente coming down off second. Bob Skinner from first with 2 outs. Newcombe ready. Looks to his runners, now delivers a changeup that's hit slowly down to first base. Hodges up with it and does it by himself. So in the first inning for the Pirates, no runs, 1 hit. There was 1 error and 2 men left on base. And at the end of half an inning, the Pirates nothing and the Dodgers coming up. We have a big day of baseball in both leagues, so without further ado, let's have Jerry run them down for us.
Here's the way it looks on our Lucky Strike scoreboard, Ben. The Phillies and the Giants playing a doubleheader. It'll be Roberts against Antonelli at the Polo Grounds, and nothing in on that one yet. Cincinnati playing Milwaukee, Clipstan against Farm, and a doubleheader between Chicago and St. Louis, delayed because of rain again after a rainout yesterday. In the American League, the Yankees are playing Boston, and it'll be Sturdivant against Sisler, and nothing in on that one yet. Baltimore and Washington, the doubleheader. The first game will be Beeman against Shackles, and at the end of 3.5 innings, Washington leads Baltimore by a score of 4-0. Cleveland playing Detroit, And it's no score at the end of 1.5 innings with Garcia going against Bromack and another single game in the American League. Kansas City going against Chicago, Coleman and Wilson, and that ball game has not started yet. So it's a doubleheader between the Phils and the Giants, single game between the Redlegs and Milwaukee, doubleheader between Chicago and St. Louis. American League, Yankees and Boston in 1, Baltimore, Washington playing 2, Cleveland and Detroit, Kansas City and Chicago also playing 1 game. And of course, we've got a big doubleheader going here at Ebbets Field today, the Dodgers and the Pirates. And as Vinny reminded you, there are plenty of seats available, so make your plans to spend this Easter Sunday afternoon right here at Ebbets Field and enjoy baseball at its very best. Last half of the first inning, Jim Gilliam steps in, and here we go, right back to Vince.
Well, Junior was brought back to us mere mortals the other day. He was up in the clouds with a .600 batting average, but he drew the collar yesterday. Jim going 0 for 4, so he is now 6 for 15. Gilliam followed by Smoley and then Snyder here in the first inning, no score. Vernon Law looking in to get his sign. Now the tall right-hander ready and delivers. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike, on 1. We're pleased to salute our honor hospital today, the Veterans Hospital of First Avenue in New York. Law back again with what looked like a knuckler, and it's outside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 1 to Gilliam, leading off here in the last of the first. No score. Law ready and comes back to him 1-1, and the knuckleball is outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Just about all the pitchers on the Pirate staff will throw a knuckleball. The 2-1 pitch to Gilliam. Cut on. There's a high fly ball into shallow right. Clemente is calling. It's an easy play for him. Backs up a step or 2 now and takes it for the out. 1 up, 1 away. Bob Friend does not throw as many knuckleballs in the ball game now as he used to, but Friend has instead developed a screwball, which is a dandy. Here's Gino Smoley. Gino with 4 base hits in this young year. He has a home run and 2 runs batted in. 1 out, bases empty, last of the first inning, no score. Pirates and Dodgers in the first of 2 games. Law comes to Smoley, and the fastball is beaten foul right off Smoley's ankle. Gino trying to shake that one off. 0-1 the count. The Dodgers have really been getting on Captain Pee Wee Reese because of his idleness, the fact that he has the sore back, and he is spending so much time in the whirlpool bath. Here's a knuckleball that's pulled foul outside of third, 0-2. So yesterday, at the instigation of Rube Walker, who is a very quiet but very clever ribber, they put a big sign up on the whirlpool. It said, "The Spirit of Louisville, Kentucky." They claim that Reese has more solo hours in the whirlpool tub than any other man in history. The boys are on the captain. The strike 2 pitch is a fastball high and tight, and Smoley has to sit down and give it a lot of room. 1-2. Vernon Law ready, and the 1-2 pitch to Gino. Knuckler outside. 2-2. Boy, you can really see Law's knuckleball come up there. It dances all the way. Hank Foyle's doing a nice job of holding him. 2-2. Law ready and delivers to Gino, and the pitch is cut on and fouled off first base, and it'll either catch the roof or the upper deck. Catches the roof and goes out. Count holds 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Pirates had a mild flurry in the first inning, if you weren't here with us. Clemente opened up with a single, and Skinner got on when Zimmer booted that line drive that exploded right at his feet. However, Thomas and Smith won out, and the Pirates did not score. Fastball is cut on and missed, and down goes Smoley. So Gino strikes out. 2 down, last of the first inning, and Duke Snyder walking up. Snyder is batting .250. He has 2 home runs and 3 runs batted in. In the words of Hoyt Wilhelm, and it's applicable now that Vernon Law is pitching, Wilhelm claims that Snyder is the best knuckleball hitter he's ever seen. He gets a fastball, and it's up high, ball 1. So we'll see if Law will throw in some knuckles. 2 out in the first inning, no score. The Phillies did not score in the first inning against the Giants. Law double pumping on Snyder, and the 1-0 pitch. Cut on and missed the fastball, 1-1. Johnny Antonelli, who was a doubtful starter for the Giants, he hasn't been feeling well ever since he picked up the virus out at Phoenix. But Antonelli is in there starting for New York today. Vernon Law delivers 1-1 to Snyder. There's the knuckler outside. Ball 2. 2-1. On deck, Carl Perillo. Nice crowd on hand, but nothing close to capacity. I advise you that if you'd like to see the ball game, we have a lot of baseball today and still have plenty of seats. Fastball is cut on and bounced down to Mazeroski. Up with it easily, goes to Skinner, and that's it for Brooklyn in the first inning. Dodgers going quietly, 1-2-3, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And at the end of one inning, the Pirates nothing, the Dodgers nothing. Just like that, let's hear from Jerry.
Well, here, you baseball experts, we've got another Lucky Strike baseball quiz for you. But first, a moment to relax and light up a better-tasting Lucky Strike. Yes, sir, Lucky Strike is a genuine cigarette. All fine tobacco. Naturally mild, good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Have you tried a Lucky lately? You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Okay, now here's our Lucky Strike baseball quiz. You got your thinking caps on? Well, here's the question. What is the modern Major League record for the most consecutive home runs by a player in a game? Most consecutive home runs by a player in a game. Thinking real hard? Well, if you haven't got it now, you're going to have to give up. In 1932, Lou Gehrig of the Yankees hit 4 consecutive home runs for the modern Major League record. 1932, Lou Gehrig of the Yankees hit 4 consecutive home runs for the modern Major League record. That's our Lucky Strike baseball quiz for today. And now for more action, here's Vince.
Second inning, no score. Dick Grote, Hank Foyles, and Bill Mazeroski coming up for Pittsburgh. Should anybody get on, maybe we'll see Vernon Law. Newt getting his signs from Campanella. Don ready now and works the plate with the fastball and gets it over for a strike. Now, I don't know if Gladys Gooding was being subtle or if it just happened to be the first selection that she decided to play. You know what she played here before the start of the second inning of a doubleheader? It's a lovely way to spend an evening. The strike one pitch to Grote is unintentionally fouled away. He tried to check his swing. 0-2. So if we have a big day of baseball, all right, make sure you have plenty of Luckies and a comfortable chair and stay right with us. Dick Grote is batting 182. He has 1 run batted in. Small right-hand batter. Newt comes back to him, and the fastball a little high. Ball 1. 1-2. Kenny Burkhart calling balls and strikes. Dusty Bodges, the senior umpire of the quartet, is at first. Tommy Gorman at second, and Hal Dixon at third. Newcombe works easily. The 1-2 pitch. Cut on. There's a belt into right center. That might be trouble. Snyder on the run. It's going to be over his head and bouncing up against the wall. Dick Grote is on his way for 2 and makes it standing. So Dick Grote lines a double into right center off the concave wall, and by the time Snyder gets the carom back in, Grote is standing at second. That is hit number 2 for the Bucs against Don Newcombe. Brings up Hank Foyles, the catcher. Foyles, spelling his name F-O-I-L-E-S. Hank Foyles. The Dodger bullpen begins to stir right away. Pronto, too, for it's Rene Valdez beginning to loosen up. Big Newt comes set. Takes a peek back at Dick Grote at second. Now comes to the plate, and the fastball is cut on late for a strike. 0-1. Rene Valdez, tall, lean Cuban in the bullpen, wearing a number that was really in prominence a couple of years ago. Number 49, worn with such a great deal of distinction by Joe Black. 0-1 to Hank Foyles. On deck, Bill Mazeroski. Newcombe turns on the rubber, looks back at Grote. Now the strike one pitch to Foyles. A bunt and a good one to the left of the mound. Jackson charging. Bare hand pick up. The throw is just in time. A fine play by Randy Jackson. And on the sacrifice, Dick Grote goes to third. Play going 5-3. out here in the second inning. Bill Mazeroski coming up, and the Dodger infield will crowd him now as they move in. The second baseman is batting 143. And with Grote at third and Mazeroski up there, the Dodgers must also defend against the possibility of a squeeze. Duke taking his full windup. The big right-hander sends up high with his fastball. Ball one. Rene Valdez with that sidearm and sometimes almost submarine delivery, getting ready in the bullpen. No score, second inning, one out. Dick Grote at third. Newcombe back again with the 1-0 pitch, and the fastball is just outside, ball two. Campanella doing a little umpiring on his own. 2-0 the count. Breeze has picked up considerably now, blowing out towards right field. That's usually a good breeze for us. Coming from the west. 2-0 the count. Newcombe ready, and 2-0's the plate, and the fastball is fouled back. 2-1. Kenny Burkhart chasing it with his mask, trying to trap a butterfly, and he couldn't do it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lucky Strike sending it all to you on this Easter Sunday. Campanella wig-wagging signs out to his big roommate. Newcombe has the one that he wants, and the 2-1 pitch to Mazeroski. Cut on and tapped in front of the plate. Campanella goes to first base for the out, and Dick Grote has to hang at third. So Mazeroski hits the ball about 3 feet directly in front of the plate. Campanella throwing him out at first. 2 down, Dick Grote at third base, and Vernon Law coming up. Vernon Law is a good athlete. He's a fine pitcher, a good fielder, and a good hitter. The Dodgers have seen him many times. Well, you can bet that Newcombe will be watching him carefully. Clyde Sudforth, hollering from the Pirate dugout, wants to say something to manager Bobby Bragan. So Bragan leaves the third base coaching box and comes over to the Pirate den to find out what his first lieutenant wants. Sudforth right now is talking to Bragan. Dick Grote at third. 2 out in the second inning, no score. And now Bragan is coming up to talk to Vernon Law. Sudforth saw something and suddenly bolted off the bench, hollered out to Bragan, passed the information, whatever it might be, to his manager, who then in turn is now talking to pitcher and now batter Vernon Law. And Bragan now wants to talk to plate umpire Kenny Burkhart. So many things can come up on a ball field, it's unreasonable even to try and guess in something like this. Law is walking away from home plate. Now let's see. The Pirate trainer is coming over to say something to Vernon, and it could be that Law isn't feeling too well, and we're going to have a pinch hitter. Johnny Powers gets up and starts walking down to the bat rack, and in the Pirate bullpen, they get a right-hander throwing right away. It looks like Clarence Nottingham Churn. That would be a guess. We saw Churn the other day. But something's the matter, I guess, with Vernon Law. It might be that he tried to keep it from anybody. Maybe he didn't feel too well, but Sudforth spotted it. Said something to Bragan, who spoke to Law. Then the trainer came over, and Law walked away. You know they're not just yanking Law for a pinch hitter here in the second. Well, we got the spring off right. Our guess was wrong. It's not Churn in the bullpen. It's Bob Perky. Bob Perky. Law remains on the Pirate bench. And the Pirate trainer is standing in front of him, not talking to him. But here comes Johnny Powers. We get a sign from Tex Rickett that Law has a pain in his side.
Number 14.
That's a tough break for the young pitcher. So Johnny Powers is hitting for Vernon Law, and Law comes out. As a guess from the sign we received, he has a pain in his side. Newcombe delivers to Powers, who hits a hot one right on by Hodges and down into the bullpen. Grote scores. Powers on his way for second. Frillo trying to chase it in the pen. Still having trouble coming up with it. And Powers is going to third, but a fan might very well have touched the ball, and they'll send him back to second. And that's what happened. So Powers hit the ball into the Dodger bullpen, and a fan reaching over the railing touched it. So Powers will get a ground rule double. So Powers doubles into the pen. That scores Grote, and the Pirates lead 1-0. So Bobby Bragan rang the right bell that time to send up Johnny Powers, who hit Newcomb's first pitch for a double, and the run is over. Bob Perky continues to throw in the Pirate bullpen as Vernon Law gives way to what is our guess, a pain in his side. That for the opposing teams against Brooklyn pitching. It's the first earned run allowed by the Dodgers in 26 innings. All right, Newcombe is pitching to Bob Clemente, and the changeup is just low. Ball one, and Campanella's mad. He'd walk in that one off. Roy walks the ball out in front of the plate. That head's going back and forth. You know he's jawing. 1-0 the count to Bob Clemente. Vernon Law is still on the Pirate bench as far as we can gather. He hasn't left yet. If we get any further report, we'll pass it along to you. 1-0 Pittsburgh, second inning. 2 out. Johnny Powers at second base. Newcombe delivers, and the curve is hit to Zimmer's left. A diving stop by Little Don. His throw to first is not in time, but it prevented a run from coming over. Little Zimmer does a belly whop right down by the bag at second, and only a brilliant stop prevented the run. So Clemente gets an infield single. Powers stops at third base. Hit number 4 off Don Newcombe. 2 out, runners at first and third, and here's Bill Verdon, who flied to left field in the first inning. Newcombe turns and comes set, checks his runners, now delivers to Verdon, a fastball that's foul back, 0-1. Since we have our Honor Hospital in the picture right now, the Veterans Hospital, First Avenue in New York, and since our prime consideration is to pass along as many free luckies as possible to the folks down there, let's pin 5,000 free luckies on that diving stop by Zimmer. Change up to Verdon is hit to Zimmer's right. Don up with it, staggers, and then goes to Gilliam for the force. A nice play by Zimmer. When Zimmer tried to put on the brakes and going into the hole, it looked for a moment as if he was going to take a header, but he stayed with it and made his play. In the second inning for the Pirates, 1 run on 3 hits. They leave 2 men. They have now left 4. There were no Dodger errors. And at the end of an inning and a half, Pittsburgh 1, Brooklyn 0. We'll see Mr. Bob Perky in a moment, but we'll hear from Jerry right now.
Say, fans, take a guess at the time right here in Brooklyn. See how close you can get. Oh, don't look at your watch now. But if you said it was 2:27, that's just about right. And if you went a little further and said it was also light-up time, then you're thinking the same thing I am. Yes, sir, time to touch a match to a lucky strike. Time to settle back to the real, deep-down smoking enjoyment of this truly genuine cigarette. And believe me, a lucky is just that. Genuine because it's all cigarette, all fine tobacco. Mild, naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Light up a Lucky. You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Compelled to leave the game due to a full muscle in his right side.
The announcement by Tex Rickard that Vernon Law pulled a muscle in his right side and was compelled to leave the ball game being made to the crowd here. So Bob Perky comes on, and we have the explanation on why Vernon Law was suddenly taken out of the ball game. Perky's tuning up now with catcher Hank Foyles. Standing by is Carl Furillo, the Dodger cleanup batter. He'll be followed by Gil Hodges and then by Ransom Jackson. On the infield, Thomas, Grote, Mazeroski, and Skinner. The outfield, Smith, Verdon, and Clemente. And before we go to play, let's pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodger Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO Albany for the Brooklyn Dodgers games, and write to WOKO for the complete Dodger schedule of games at home and away. They're yours free for the asking, so be sure to give your name and address. Write baseball, WOKO Albany, New York. It's 2:30 WOKO time.
Nothing Pittsburgh. The tall right-hander sends his first pitch in that's cut on and missed for a strike. Perky worked 2 innings the other day against Brooklyn, gave up 1 run and 5 hits. The run came on Gil Hodges' home run. Perky, a tall right-hander, checking his signs. Back comes a strike 1, and it's low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Vernon Law has a tough break, pulling a muscle in his right side. Doing that, no doubt, while pitching to the Dodger hitters in the first inning. He retired them in order and struck out one man. The 1-1 pitch to Furillo. Just outside, ball 2. 2-1. Furillo will be followed by Hodges and then Jackson. Should anybody get on, maybe we'll see Campanella. Lucky Strike sending it all to you from Brooklyn. Pirates leading 1-0 in the first of 2 games. Perky delivers 2-1, and Furillo slaps at it, hits it down to Mazeroski, who throws him out at first. Furillo might have been fooled on the pitch. He only took half a swing. Carl goes out for 3, 1 up, 1 away. Gil Hodges walking up to the plate brings a .333 batting average with him. He's 4 for 12. 2 home runs, 2 runs batted in. Phillies and the Giants at the end of 2 innings, a 1-1 tie. Perky ready and delivers to Hodges and knuckles the first one in there for a strike, 0-1. The strike 1 pitch to Hodges, a knuckleball cut on and loop back at second base. Mazeroski going out and calling. Clemente coming on, and it's Clemente for the catch. Oh, the right fielder, Bob Clemente, slanting across, comes in to make the grab, and we have 2 out. In that Phillies-Giant ball game, a 1-1 tie at the end of 2, Kazansky had a home run in the second inning for the Phillies, and Hank Sauer came back to hit one for the Giants. Well, I imagine Bill Rigney, like all the managers in both leagues, now knows he's right in the middle of a mess in the 1957 pennant race. He had the first bitter pill yesterday. Jackson takes the first pitch outside. I can't imagine a more miserable way for a manager to bring home a losing ball club than to think about having a tying run at third with nobody out in the 9th inning and not be able to get it over. The 1-0 pitch to Jackson, outside, ball 2. However, it'll probably happen to every club before the year is over, not once, but maybe a couple of times. The most frustrating year I can think of with Brooklyn in the last few about leaving runners at third with less than 2 outs in an inning was in 1950. Wow. The 2-0 pitch to Jackson, low and outside, ball 3. Appeared back in 1950 when you remember the Dodgers lost to the Philadelphia Phillies. Almost every ball game that they lost, they'd leave that man at third. 3-0 pitch is down the pipe, 3-1. 2 out, last of the second inning. Pirates 1, Dodgers nothing. Bob Perky taking over for Vernon Law sends a pitch that's cut on as a high fly ball to deep left center, but Verdon is fading with it right near the wall, turns and takes it. So a long out to deep center. The Dodgers go out in order 1, 2, 3, and the first 6 men have been retired in a row with the combined efforts of Vernon Law and now Bob Perky. So the end of 2, the Pirates a run on 4 hits, the Dodgers no runs, no hits, and 1 error. What you got, Jerry?
Well, Vinny, there are 3 fine games coming up this Easter week and 3 opportunities for the fans, the moms and dads, to satisfy that youngster of yours by taking him to a ball game. Maybe as a reward for that fine report card he brought home recently. Here's the schedule. Tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, the opening day game in Jersey City, Dodgers versus Phillies. Wednesday and Thursday, 2 night games, and with the New York Giants, no less, here at Ebbets Field. Getaway games and the most exciting of all baseball rivalries, the interborough battles between the Giants and the Dodgers, and your first night ball of 1957. Plenty of reserved seats available for all 3 games. How about a family outing or 2 at the ballpark? Celebrate Easter week at the ballpark and enjoy baseball. Tomorrow, the opening game in Jersey, the Dodgers and Phillies. Wednesday and Thursday night games against the Dodgers and the Giants. So, lots of fine baseball coming your way. Into the third, Bob Skinner due up, and here we go, right back to Vince.
Bob Skinner taking the place of Dale Long, who had one of the longest afternoons a ball player can endure yesterday at the hands of Johnny Padres. Long struck out 4 straight times. And the Dodger ball players, to a man, they were sympathetic to Dale. They understood how those things happen. In fact, Rube Walker was saying, "Oh, do I understand. I remember catching a doubleheader against the Cardinals, and he had to face Max Lanier and Harry Brackeen in the doubleheader. First pitch to Skinner's bunted back foul, 0-1. And Rube was saying in 9 at-bats he struck out 6 times that day. So he said, I know out Dale Long feels. Skinner got on Don Zimmer's error in the first inning. Bob 0 for 1. 1-0 Pittsburgh here in the third inning. Big Newt comes with a changeup with a little slow curve on the end of it and doesn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pirate run in the second inning. 2 doubles and an infield single. Newcombe ready, and the 1-1 pitch to Bob Skinner. Fastball, it's jolted to deep left field. Back goes Somolia, way back, right to the wall, and takes it. So we've had some long fly balls going for out. One up, one away, and here's Frank Thomas. Thomas flied to Snyder in deep center in the first inning. Frank 0 for 1. Nuke ready and sends him the fastball, a half swing, and it's in there for the strike, 0-1. Newcombe has a sign from Campanella. Don comes back, strike 1. The fastball is outside, 1-1. Johnny Padres reported that this morning he could hardly get out of bed. That's how stiff and sore he was. That's this morning. He said this afternoon he felt all right. He was saying, boy, I hope I have that real nice stiffness about every 5th day. The boys knew what he meant. The 1-1er. Fastball is caught on. There's a belt high and deep to left field. Forget all about it. That's going to be off the facade. So Frank Thomas jolts one, and the Pirates lead 2-0. Thomas hits his second home run. That marks the first home run hit against Brooklyn pitching this year. And we send another 1,000 free luckies to our Veterans Hospital at First Avenue, New York. 2-0 Pittsburgh here in the third inning. Paul Smith, who grounded out to Hodges, steps in. Bunts and bunts are foul to the left of the plate. 0-1. The count. Changeup is belted deep to right field. Got a lot of height, a lot of distance, and it just goes out of here. Just inside the foul pole and over the screen. A home run for Paul Smith. And the Pirates now lead 3-0. And Newcombe is getting whacked around. Smith hit a changeup that just stayed inside the foul pole and just did clear the screen. However, you might just as well hit one 25 miles. It counts the same. And it's 3-0 the Pirates. So Newcombe has given up 6 hits, which include 2 home runs and 2 doubles. Here's Dick Groh, who doubled in the second inning. Nuke delivers, and the curve is in for the strike. Rene Valdez up again in the Dodger bullpen. Paul Smith is a comparative newcomer. We'll check and see if that's his first major league home run or not. Newcombe back with a fastball. There's another belt to left field. Back goes Savali, away back. That one's gone. Pirates playing hide-the-baseball on Don Newcombe. Frank Thomas hit a home run. Paul Smith hits a home run. Dick Groh hits a home run. And the Pirates lead 4-0 in the third inning, and Walter Austin heading to the mound. The most consecutive home runs hit in one inning by one club in both the National and the American League. 3, which is tied today. However, the small note made by many clubs. However, the most home runs in one inning by one club, not necessarily consecutively, the National League, and I happen to see one of those games, the Giants and Cincinnati. 5 in the 4th inning. And Philadelphia against Cincinnati, 5 of them in the 8th inning in 1949. The American League, 4 home runs in one inning. But consecutive home runs in one inning, it's been tied 3 straight. And Don Newcombe comes out. One thing about the major leagues, if you don't have it, they can really wrap you up in a hurry. Newcombe gives up 4 runs on 7 hits. And of the 7 hits, 2 were doubles and 3 of them home runs. And out he comes. He is fortunate in a sense, however, that the home runs were consecutively and not with anyone on base. Pirates 4, Dodgers nothing here in the 3rd inning, and the Brooklyn folks will now take a peek at Rene Valdez, the tall, lean Cuban. Down in Cuba, Valdez is known as Latigo, Latigo, which they tell me means whip. He kind of serves sidearm with that right arm, hence the nickname. Rene Valdez taking over for Don Newcombe here in the 3rd inning after 3 consecutive home runs by Messrs. Thomas, Smith, and Grote. Dick Grote did not hit a home run all last year, so he got his feet wet early this year. All right, the first pitch is cut on and missed by catcher Hank Foyles, and the crowd in mock applause, letting out a little noise. 0-1. Back comes a strike 1 pitch, and that's in there, 0-2. Valdez with about as thin a pair of legs as there can be in baseball. Sam Jethro had about the same type. It looks like he's going to slide right through his uniform. The 0-2 pitch, a curve cut on, a high pop-up. Hodges coming down the line from first in fair ground. Waits and takes it. Out here in the 3rd inning. Pirates 4, Dodgers nothing. In the first of 2 games, and Don Newcombe takes an early shower, working 2 in the 3rd inning. Bill Mazeroski looks at the first pitch, and it's down low, ball 1. In the Dodger bullpen, Sandy Koufax begins to loosen up. Valdez is scheduled to be the 3rd batter when Brooklyn hits in the 3rd. The 1-0 pitch to Mazeroski, fastball cut on, a high fly ball to straightaway center and fairly shallow, about medium. Snyder's there to take it. In the 3rd inning for Pittsburgh, 3 explosions, 3 runs on 3 home runs by Thomas, Smith, and Grote to tie a record. Nobody left on, and at the end of 2.5 innings of play, the Pirates 4 and Brooklyn nothing. Well, you know, it's not very often that philosophy and baseball go together, but Mr. Gil Hodges has managed to combine the 2. All right, Gil.
Those bench jockeys, they can sit there all day long making one wisecrack after another and really have themselves a ball. Me, I'll just leave it to the other guys and take my fun after the game. That means grabbing a shower and sitting around with the lucky. They're all cigarette, all tobacco, all the way through. I'd say Luckies are the best tasting cigarette I ever smoked.
Yes, sir, Gil. Smokers everywhere find that Luckies taste better, and for good reason. Luckies are made of fine, mild, naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. So do as Gil says and light up a Lucky. You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Well, Mr. Bob Perky, who is probably ready to spend a quiet afternoon in the Pirate bullpen, was first called on to take over for Vernon Law after 1 inning when Vernon pulled a muscle in his right side. Perky since then has inherited 4 runs, and the Pirates are leading 4-0. Perky will pitch to Roy Campanella, Don Zimmer, and Rene Valdez, or a pinch hitter, Sandy Koufax, throwing in the pen. Roy Campanella, batting .273 in this young year. He has a run batted in. Perky delivers, and his curve is low and outside. Ball one. The 1-0 pitch to Campy. Trifle high. Ball two. 2-0. A chant begins to swell up from out in left field. We want a hit. And some rhythmical hand clapping, too. 2-0 pitch to Campanellis. Taken for the strike. 2-1. The end of this inning will have a complete rundown of all the scores for you, any home runs that might have been hit, and all the pitchers involved. 2-1 to Camp. Cut on, a big bounce to the short. Grote has to wait for it to come to him, gets rid of the ball quickly to Skinner in time for the out. 1 up, 1 away. Don Zimmer, who booted the ball in the second inning and then came right back to make a brilliant stop, stepping in. Don is 2 for 11. One of his 2 hits, a home run. That against Robin Roberts. Perky delivers, and the sidearm pitch a little high. Ball one. The Dodgers are not tipping their hand. Gilliam, the leadoff man, comes out to the on-deck circle. Koufax continues to throw in the bullpen. The 1-0 pitch, fastball, hit off the thumbs and fouled away off first base back into the crowd. 1-1. Lucky Strike sending you all the excitement from Ebbets Field, and we should have plenty of it today. The Dodgers and Pirates in an Easter Sunday doubleheader. A 1-1 to Zimmer. He tries to bunt a knuckleball, and I think he foul-tipped it. 1-2. Zimmer waiting, Perky looking in to get a sign from his catcher, Hank Foils. Now the 1-2 pitch. In there, call strike 3. So Zimmer caught looking and walks away. The first 8 Dodgers have been retired in a row, and with no one on base, Valdez will come up to bat for himself. Not knowing very much about Valdez as a batter, but if you remember at all about the Yankee series, he appeared over at the stadium in an exhibition ball game and singled to right. Whether he's a good hitter or not, only time will tell. Perky delivers outside. Ball one. 1-0. Pirates 4, Dodgers nothing. 2 down, bases empty in the third inning. Perky comes back to the plate, and the pitch is at the knees for a strike. 1-1. Valdez just turns and stares at Burkhardt, then shook his head a couple of times, and now gets back in. The 1-1er to Rene Valdez, a knuckleball that goes back to the backstop. Ball 2. 2-1. 2-1 pitch to Valdez. Chases him out of there, high and inside, and jumps away from Hank Foils. Ball 3. And maybe it nicked him. Yes, it did. On the sleeve, I guess. Valdez is walking to first. And now Kenny Burkhardt says no. And Valdez continues to point to his arm, but he comes back to hit again. Valdez just dropped his bat and began to walk towards first, as if the pitch had hit him on the left sleeve. Burkhardt says no, sir. Count 3-1. Valdez again backs out. Now we're ready. 3-1 pitch to Rene. In there, and Valdez was starting to go towards first and comes back again. Oh, Rene's a busy man down there, trying to do a little Cuban con job on plate umpire Kenny Burkhardt. 3-2. Well, he's a dandy, this fella. Perky ready in the 3-2 pitch. Low, and he's finally on. Go ahead, Rene. Trot to first. Valdez at first with 2 outs. You know, down in spring training, the writers in interviewing him were saying, why in the world do you speak Spanish? You can speak English. Why don't you talk English all the time? You know what his answer was? He said, American ball players play ball in Cuba in wintertime. They no speak Spanish. Me play ball in America in the summertime. Me no speak English. What are you going to do? Okay. Here's Gilliam, who flied to right in the first inning. Jim 0 for 1. 2 out, bottom of the third, 4-0 Pittsburgh. Perky comes to the plate, and Gilliam takes it just high, ball one. Kenny Burkhart started to raise his right arm and then quickly slapped it back down. The 1-0 pitch to Junior. Sliding outside, ball two. So Dick Grote, with a slight storm signal up, comes trotting in from short. Hank Foyle's walking the ball back out to the mound, so he'll have a brief consultation. 2-0 the count to Gilliam. Valdez at first with 2 out in the third inning. Pirates 4, Brooklyn nothing. The end of the inning will give you all the other scores. Confab is broken up. Hank Foyles back to the plate. Dick Grote goes to short, and Bob Perky back to his pitching. 2-0 the count to Jim Gilliam. Perky looks over at Valdez. Now the 2-0 pitch is taken for the strike. 2-1. Pirates chase Newcombe. 3 consecutive home runs in the third inning to tie a record held by many clubs in both leagues. The 2-1 pitch to Gilliam, line outside, ball 3. 3-1. The Pirates get a little restless, and they go to the phone, to the bullpen. So we'll probably have some stirring down there. Perky ready. The 3-1 pitch to Junior. In there, strike 2. Sam Narron, the bullpen catcher, is up. And Elroy Face, I think, gets out of that pen. I've been wrong once today. Full count to Gilliam, 2 out. Valdez inching off the bag. Valdez goes. The 3-2 is cut away foul. 1 wrong, 1 right. Batting .500. Face is loosening up with Sam Narron. 4-0 Pittsburgh here in the third. Mazeroski out on the grass for Gilliam. Perky checks. Valdez goes. The 3-2 is hit slowly by the mound down to Grote at short, who hurries his play to first in time. So Gilliam goes out, short to first, and the Dodgers go out in the third inning. No runs, no hits. No errors, 1 man left on. And so, at the end of 3 innings of play, the score, the Pirates 4 and the Dodgers nothing. Now we'll check our Lucky Strike scoreboard. The Phillies and Giants, Roberts and Antonelli, at the end of 2.5 innings, and now make it 3 complete. A 1-1 tie on home runs by Kazansky and Sauer. That's the first of 2. Cincinnati and Milwaukee, Clipstein against Spahn, no score at the end of 1 inning. Chicago and St. Louis in a doubleheader that's been delayed because of rain, but we have confirmation on the pitchers. Kaiser against Wiemeyer. The Yankees and the Red Sox in a single game. Sturdivant against Sisler. No score at the end of 2.5 innings. Baltimore leading Washington 5-4 at the end of 4.5 innings. Beeman and Ferraris for Baltimore. Shackles, Clevenger, and Byerly for Washington. Roy Sievers hit his 3rd home run in the 2nd inning with nobody on for Washington. That's the first of 2. Cleveland and Detroit at the end of 4 innings. Cleveland 2 and Detroit nothing. Garcia against Gromek with Hefner leaving in the 3rd inning. By the way, Billy was rejected by the draft board again. Kansas City and Chicago, Morgan against Wilson. No score at the end of 1 inning. Well, you're right up to date on all the scores. We roll along into the 4th inning of this first game of a doubleheader, the Dodgers and the Pirates. Pittsburgh leading Brooklyn 4-0. Lucky Strike sending it all to you, and sending you now for the play-by-play, Jerry Doggett.
Thanks, Bill. Hi, everyone. It'll be Bob Perky, the pitcher, due up there, to be followed by Roberto Clemente, and then by Bill Burton. 4-0 ball game. Pittsburgh 1 in the 2nd and 3 in the 3rd. And the home runs teed off by Thomas Smith and Grote, the first this year off Dodger pitching. Valdez looks in for a sign. The windup and sidearms a fastball in for strike 1 swinging on Bob Perky. Perky wearing a number 34 in the back of his gray uniform. Big doubleheader today between the Dodgers and the Pirates from Ebbets Field. Tomorrow will be at Jersey City. Sidearm fastball is in for call strike 2 on Perky. 0-2. Pirates batting, fourth inning. Valdez into the windup. Curveball breaks outside low, and it's ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In case you joined us late, the Pirates got 1 in the second, 3 in the third. Vernon Law started and went out in the second inning with a pulled muscle. Here's a foul ball punched off to the right down in the stands. The fan tries to one-hit it but can't hold on. So the count stays 1-2 to pitcher Bob Perky. Valdez winds. Fastball is in for a call, strike 3. Sidearm fastball pumped in and over. And out on strikes, Bob Perky. For Valdez, strikeout number 1. And oncoming now will be Roberto Clemente, who has an infield single behind second base and a single to right field. So Clemente 2 for 2 today. Right-hand batter. Clemente hitting .500 as he stands at the plate. 3 hits, 6 tries. He had 1 for 4 before today. Sidearm fastball swung on a fly ball hit in the right center field. Perolo drifts over, and he's there to make the catch for the out. Clemente to Perolo in right field. 2 up and 2 down, and here's Bill Verdon. On the fourth out and slide out to left field. Verdon hitting .231. Has 3 hits, 13 trips to the plate. Left-hand batter with 2 away in the fourth inning. Tall, slender right-hander. Rene Valdez into the windup. Delivers. Overarm this time, high and outside. Ball 1. Ball 1, no strikes. Left-hand batter, Bill Verdon in the batter's box. Here's a foul ball hit up in the stands, and it's strike 1, ball 1. Valdez coming overhand now to the left-hand batters. He was slingshotting them in sidearm to the right-hand batters. Sidearm pitcher has to be careful going to a left-hand batter, though. Ball hangs out over that plate sometimes. 1-1 pitch. Fastball chopped down foul. Rolling off to the Brooklyn dugout. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Jackson, Zimmer, Gilliam and Hodges on the infield. Samoli, Snyder, and Perlo in the outfield. Valdez taking his sign. 1-2 offering. The windup in the pitch. A bouncer to the right side. Gilliam comes in. Gets a short hop. Play to first is in time, and that's all. Verdon out. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. The end of 3.5 innings of play. The score, the Pittsburgh Pirates 4 and the Brooklyn Dodgers have none. Now here's a word from Vince.
All right, at this moment, friends, do you have any idea how many smokers across the country are lighting up Lucky's? How many folks are settling back to real deep-down smoking enjoyment? Well, I'd say countless thousands. Yes, sir, they know that Lucky Strike is all cigarette, all fine tobacco. Mild, naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. If you tried a Lucky lately, you'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Light up a Lucky, it's light up time. Be happy, go lucky, it's light up time. For the taste that you like, light up a Lucky Strike. You'll say it's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
To the last of the fourth inning, 4-0 Pittsburgh. Bob Perky about ready, so let's get right back to Jerry.
The Dodgers looking for their first base hit of the afternoon have had 1 base runner. Valdez drew a walk in the third inning with 2 outs. Samoli will be the first batter, went down swinging first time up. Gino hitting .286, 4 hits, 14 trips to the plate, 1 homer and 2 runs batted in. So Bob Perky now on the hill, looking in for a sign from catcher Hank Foyles, and we're set to play. Bottom of the fourth inning. Pitch to Gino is in and over for strike 1. The Pirates have Thomas at third, Grote at short, Mazeroski at second, and Skinner at first. Smith, Verdon, and Clemente in the outfield. Foyles catching, and Bob Perky doing the pitching. And Lucky Strike sending you all the action from Ebbets Field. Big Easter Sunday doubleheader today. The 1-1 pitch. Curveball is inside, and the count to Gino goes 2-1. 2-1 look now. The wind-up and pitch. Curveball chopped off foul behind the plate, and the count even to 2-2. Yes, sir, the Dodgers and the Pirates going at it here. And lots of seats on hand, so why don't you make plans to come out? You can see a lot of this one, and, the whole second game for sure. So kind of make tracks right there for Ebbets Field. Still plenty of good seats available to see the ball game this afternoon. 2-2 pitch. Swung on a bounder, hit the third. Big hop to Thomas. The long throw across is high, but Skinner went high in the air and hauled it down for the out. So we have one away, and Duke Strader coming on, and before Duke steps in, let's pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodger Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO Albany. 3 o'clock WOKO time.
Rose Oldsmobile always scores high. Yes, 67% of Rose Oldsmobile sales are to repeat customers. Folks who buy from Rose year after year. There must be a reason.
That's right. The reason is Rose Oldsmobile maintains in their modern service shop all the latest scientific equipment to give continuing warranty work on every Olds they sell.
Service that continues on and on, long after the sale is made. Rose Oldsmobile utilizes latest, up-to-the-minute factory methods in offering this warranty service. Their mechanical experts are trained in their skills by regular attendance at Olds factory schools.
That's why Rose Oldsmobile scores high in repeat Olds sales. Rose makes certain that the Oldsmobile you buy from them is kept in perfect running condition. That's why 67% of Rose Oldsmobile customers return. Rose offers more, low price, plus the continuing service that means satisfaction to you. See Rose Oldsmobile, Capital District's oldest franchise Oldsmobile dealer, Central and Manning.
Skinner deep along the first base side. 3-1 pitch. Duke swings and chops her foul down the first base line. Count fills out at 3-2. Perky came on to work in the second after Law went out with a pulled muscle in his side. For Duke, and down he goes. So there are 2 outs now. Snyder strikes out. And for Bob Perky, that is strikeout number 2. Carl Fuller coming on. Thus far in the game, we have reached 8,000 of our 22,000 quota of luckies for the VA Hospital, First Avenue, New York City. So we'll keep them coming. Send them your way. Lucky Strike sending you play-by-play. Hope you've got plenty of luckies on hand for a long afternoon of baseball. Murillo waits as Perky delivers. Swung on a high fly ball, popped into short right field. Out for it goes Mantarowski. In comes Clemente. Clemente calls, makes the grab for the outside, retired. Murillo on a pop fly into short right. So again, the Dodgers go 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on base. So at the end of 4 innings of play, the score: the Pirates 4, the Dodgers nothing. The first half of this game has been brought to you by Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. It's made by the American Tobacco Company. Tobacco is our middle name. And now to take over, the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of Schaefer Beer, America's oldest lager beer. It's real beer. Say a word of advice to Mom and Dad. Don't wait until it's too late to enroll your boy in the Dodgertown Summer Camp for Boys. 2 months, July and August, of solid sports activity at Dodgertown, Vero Beach, Florida. Expert coaching in baseball, football, tennis, swimming, basketball, fishing, canoeing, and many other sports. Fine living quarters, the best in health-giving food. Drop us a line and let us send you a brochure telling you all about Dodgertown, the finest summer camp in the land. Into the top half of the 5th inning, we'll have Bob Skinner on now to face Rene Valdez. 4-0, Pirates lead the first game. Skinner on an air and flat out to left field. Left-hand hitter. Overarm fastball in off the shoulder, and it's ball 1. This is the first game of the season for Skinner, who now is 0 for 2. Thomas on deck, and then Smith to follow. Overarm fastball high, and it's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes on Bob Skinner. Hitting third in the batting order. 2-0 count. Valdez checks the sign, delivers, swinging a foul hit back into the screen, and it's 2-1. In case you're wondering why manager Bobby Bragan has his pitcher hitting in the number 9 spot today, well, it may be that Bobby is going to abandon the pitcher hitting 8 for psychological reasons. 2-1 pitch. Curveball breaks in close, and it's ball 3-1. Some of the opposition have been riding that number 9 hitter a little bit and asking him how come they're hitting behind the pitcher, and it's kind of wearing on the nerves of that guy in the number 9 spot. Here's the pitch inside, ball 4, and Skinner is on with a walk. So Bob Skinner draws a base on balls, the first off Valdez, and it brings on Frank Thomas as a home run in the flyout. Thomas 1 for 2. Valdez out of a stretch now. Sidearm curveball is swung on and missed. Strike 1. Thomas hitting .231. Well, anyway, back to that 8 and 9 man. Mazeroski was in a slump, and it may be that the needling was getting on him. So manager Bobby Bragan switched him around and may leave the pitch in the number 9 spot for a while. There's a bunt try up the third baseline. Jackson coming fast for it. One-hands it, and the play is dropped by Hodges, and all hands are safe. The throw to Hodges popped out of his glove, and we'll see how they score it. Jackson coming down the line to grab the bunt there, and with a swinging throw all in one motion, and an error is called on the play, and we'll see who gets it. Error on Hodges as the ball popped out of Gill's glove. So that's the second miscue of the game for the Dodgers. Error on Hodges, and on the play, Skinner goes into second. And no time at bat charge for Thomas, a sacrifice and an error on the play. It is bunting the sacrifice, and now Paul Smith up. Infield looking for the bunt, he pulls the bat out of there, and it's ball 1. Valdez ready. Hodges sneaking down the line. The pitch is bunted, popped foul off to the left and out of play. 1-1. One ball, one strike. Smith had a home run his last time up, grounded out his first time. Skinner drew a walk. And on a bunt, Thomas safe at first, but Hodges dropped Jackson's throw. For scoring, did not give Thomas the time at bat. He was bunting for the sacrifice and drew life on the error. 1-1. Valdez with a stretch to pitch. Smith punts it up the first baseline. Hodges has only one play. Back to first base to Gilliam covering there. And the runners move over. Skinner takes third. Thomas goes to second base. And out at first on the sacrifice is Paul Smith. Hodges to Gilliam, 3-4. So, 1 out, 2 on, and the batter will be Dick Grote, who has a double and a home run, has scored 2 runs. The infield will play it in tight now. Zimmerbank just a couple steps to shortstop. The rest of the infield all up close. Valdez trying to get out of trouble. The windup, and down it comes. Fastball is low for ball 1. Dick Grote, the shortstop, hitting .308 with 4 for 13. There's a foul ball coming right back upstairs, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dick Grote. Hank Foyle's on deck. The Pirates lead 4-0, and they're batting in the 5th inning and have a threat going now. At third base, Skinner. At second base, Thomas. The 1-1 offering. Sidearm blow, and it's ball 2, 2-1. Rene Valdez yielding a leadoff walk to Skinner. Thomas got on an error, moved up on a sacrifice. Runners at second and third, 2-1 count. The windup and pitch. Curveball high, and it's ball 3, 3-1 now. Campy walks out in front of the plate, says something to Valdez, and lobs the ball back to him. Count. Curveball for strike 2. And the Kenneth pulled to Dick Grote, 3-2. Dodger infield playing it tight, trying to hold the runners up. Valdez ready, the 3-2 pitch on the way. Curveball popped foul on the first base line, and it'll go down in the stands. Grote just reached out for a breaking ball that time, lost his bat, and popped the ball foul in the stands. Off Newcombe drew the start for the Dodgers today and was tied for 3 consecutive home runs in the third. Here's the pitch. Ground ball foul, past first, all the way down the line to the Dodger bullpen. The Pirates got a run in the second, 3 more in the third, and lead 4-0. Have runners in second and third, 1 out here in the 5th inning. 3-2. Grote waiting. Valdez delivers. Curveball chopped on the third baseline. Valdez play to the plate. Is in time. Great play. Valdez came to the foul line and picked her up and threw home in time for a good tag by Campanella to get him out at the plate. Valdez fell to one knee when he fielded the ball and then lobbed into Campanella a distance of about 20 feet and got the base runner, Skinner, trying to come into the plate. On the play, Thomas goes into third, and into first base is Dick Grote. So there are 2 outs, runners at first and third. As Valdez came to the third baseline, fell to one knee, picked up a soft tap off the bat of Grote, got the toss into Campanella, who put the tag on cleanly in time to get the runner Skinner out at home. So there are 2 outs, and the batter, Hank Foyle's the catcher. Time now. Valdez and Campanella having a talk. The umpire's coming in. Conference at the mound. The umpires, manager Walt Austin to see about it also. While time was out, the ball tossed away by Valdez. And umpire Dusty Vargas coming over to talk to him about it. He wanted that ball rubbed up, I guess, and they let him know that you got to rub it yourself. He tossed it over to Jackson and went on by. Time was out, of course. So Valdez is instructed on the fine art of rubbing up the baseball himself. And now gets set to pitch. He tossed it to Jackson, and the ball went out on by Randy, out of play. Valdez ready. Here's the pitch. Side-armed in high. It's ball 1. Foyles held up on his swing. Ball 1 count. Again ready, checks the runners. Sidearms the pitch, a swing and a high fly ball. Straight away right field. Perillo in 2 steps, pounds the glove, waits, and he has it, and the side is retired. Foyle skies out high to Perillo in right field. Of course, no runs, no base hits, 1 error, and 2 left on for Pittsburgh in the top half of the 5th inning. So at the end of 4 1/2 innings of play, the score, the Pirates 4, the Dodgers nothing. Well, Al wants to find out what you're going to do this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. What's the plan this afternoon? Going to listen to the game a while and then get out and do some riding around? Maybe keep the game on over the car radio? Well, say, if you're going out, how's the supply of Schaefer? You got plenty on ice? You got some more in the cupboard? For when that beer on ice disappears? Well, you better make sure there's plenty, and then maybe get an extra 6-pack or 2 anyway. Because one thing's a sure sunrise. If there's Schaefer beer in your house, it's bound to disappear at a regular rate. Sure, once a guy discovers the wonderful flavor of Schaefer, the way his taste buds perk up at the taste of it, and the way his eyes tell him that he's in for real enjoyment just at the sight of it, well, that's all. Like I said, it disappears. So you'd better get some Schaefer today. It's real beer. we move along now into the last half of inning number 5. Hodges will be coming up to the plate for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Then Jackson, then Campanella. Right now, stepping right back up to the mic, here's Jerry.
Well, Bob Perky and Vernon Law have combined a no-hitter so far at the Dodgers through 4 turns at bat. Hodges steps in. He flied to right, first time up. So we're set to go here in the last half of the 5th. Pirates lead 4-0, and the Dodgers trying to get something started in this first game. Curveball is in for a strike as Hodges tried to check his swing, but it was in over anyway. Yes, sir, a fine Easter afternoon, and how about you? You want to come on out here and see a good ball game? We're going to have another one left here after this one. See quite a bit of this one, and then an entire second game. A let-up pitch is over for strike 2 to Gill. Sandy Koufax is up and throwing in the Dodger bullpen down in right field. Here's the pitch. Curveball high inside, and it's 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Swollen and grounded right back to the middle, and there's the first base hit of the ball game for Brooklyn. As Gil Hodges drops the bounder right back past Perky on over second in the center field for a ground single to center. And it brings on Randy Jackson, who flied to center deep his first time up. So Jackson comes on with Hodges aboard. Bob Perky checks his runner now at first base. Delivers to Randy. Curveball for strike 1. The Phillies and Giants 1-1 at the end of 5 in their ball game. Cincinnati leads Milwaukee 1-0 at the end of 2. Cubs lead the Cardinals 2-0 at the end of a half inning. A swing and a miss. Strike 2 for Jackson. 0-2 on Randy Jackson. Yankees lead Boston 1-0 through 4 1/2. Baltimore 6-4 over Washington through 5 1/2. Kenny Burkhardt now supplying a new baseball to Bob Perky. Cleveland leads Detroit 2-0 through 5 1/2, and Chicago, Kansas City, no score at the end of 3 1/2. Quick rundown on our Schaefer scoreboard for you. Curveball way outside, ball 1-2. Sandy Koufax in the bullpen in case the Dodgers get something going. May see a pinch hitter for Valdez. We'll get that far in the order. Jackson waits, Hodges off first. Perky delivers. Swinging a bounding ball out towards second. Mazeroski into short. 1, back to first. Double play. Play going Mazeroski to Coat to Skinner, and 2 out. 4-6-3 if you're scoring with us. And that's the first twin killing of the game. Shots up on the Pirates side of the book. 2 down, and here's Campanella. Grounded out to short first time up. The Dodgers have had just one extra hitter so far in the game. Valdez walked in the third and was left-handed. He walked with 2 outs. Pirates are stranded 6. Ball 1 count to Campy. Perky deals. Campanella swings and hits one foul right back above us. And it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a swing and a foul ball shot back, and it's still 1-2. Swing and a foul again back. That time Perky came without a windup. Trying to catch Campy off guard. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 5th inning. He comes again without a windup, and it's a little high for ball 2. 2-2. Perky looks for a sign. Now comes up to the top. There's a swing and a fly ball to center field. Well tagged. Back toward goes third, and back at the base of the wall. Makes the grab for the out. Campanella hitting one straight away and deep to center, and Burton raced back to grab her down for the out to retire the side. No runs, one hit, no errors, and none left on. And so that's the end of 5 innings of play with the score. The Pittsburgh Pirates 4, the Brooklyn Dodgers have none.
He's whistling. He's happy because he bought his 1957 Olds from Rose Oldsmobile, the oldest franchise Oldsmobile dealer in the Capital District.
Why, I wouldn't even consider buying my Olds from any dealer but Rose Oldsmobile.
There must be a reason. There is, because Rose maintains the proper facilities for warranty work that ensures your satisfaction. Service that continues long after the sale is made.
Rose Oldsmobile's modern shop contains all the latest factory-approved equipment for keeping your Olds in tip-top condition. Their careful servicemen are constantly being trained in Olds factory school.
That's the reason. That's why over 67% of Rose Oldsmobile sales are to repeat customers, folks who come back year after year because Rose offers more. Low price plus continuing interest in your satisfaction. There is no substitute for integrity, and integrity means Rose Oldsmobile, Central and Banning, satisfying customers at the same location for more than 30 years. That's Rose Oldsmobile.
Time to get started here in the 6th inning with Mazeroski coming up for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Then we'll have Bob Perky and a lot more fireworks. But Jerry, if you're all set, you got it.
4-0, the Pirates out in front. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Dodgers no runs, 1 hit and 2 errors. First game of a twin bill this Easter Sunday afternoon, and a lot more baseball coming your way. And if you want to spend the rest of the afternoon, well, come on out to Ebbets Field. Got plenty of good seats available yet. Good selection. Here's Valdez pitching to Mazeroski, swinging a high pop fly on the right side. Hodges and Gilliam. Now Hodges calls for it after looking at Gilliam, and Gilliam comes in behind Gill and makes the catch. So a moment of indecision there, but finally Gilliam made the play. So it's 1 up, 1 down, and here's the pitcher, Bob Perky, coming on. He was called out on strikes first time. Perky has yielded just 1 hit after taking over from Vernon Law in the first inning. Law started and got the side out in order and went out with a pulled muscle in his right side. Here's the pitch. Swung on a pop foul back upstairs, and it's strike 1 on Perky. Roberto Clemente is on deck, and Bill Verdon to follow. 1 out, 6th inning. Pirates 4, Dodgers nothing. Here's a swing and a foul tip in the glove for strike 2. 0-2 on Bob Perky. Valdez checks in for a sign, winds and fires. Curveball comes down and low, and it's 1-2. Curveball outside, ball 2, and it's 2-2 now. Valdez checks his sign. And the 2-2 on the way. Fastball low again, and it's ball 3. 3-2 on Bob Perky. On deck is Roberto Clemente. Valdez checks his sign again, winds and fires. There's a bouncing ball to the left side. Zimmer comes in for the short hop. Play across is in time for the out, and it's 2 gone. Perky grounding out short to first. State fans were happy to announce that once again the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn will be awarding the outstanding Dodger players each week with a Schaefer Award. The sports writers covering the Dodgers select the outstanding Dodger pitcher and hitter for the Schaefer Award. These players have their choice of many fine gifts, including a U.S. savings bond. And the first Schaefer Awards of 1957 go to Sal Mangley and Gil Hodges. So congratulations to Sal and Gil for winning the Schaefer Awards this first week. Roberto Clemente has 2 for 3 today. Sidearm fastball is swung on a fly ball drilled deep to center. Strider turns, goes back, and hauls her down deep in the corner in center field. Way back. Clemente gave it a big ride, and Strider went on by the 376-foot sign back in the corner and made the catch deep in center. So that's all for the Pirates in the 6th inning. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. So at the end of 5 1/2, the score, the Pirates 4, and the Dodgers have nothing. Well, Al, what'd you say?
Well, if I were to stop you in the street, Jer, and ask you, just tell me the one thing they brew beer for, what would you think the right answer would be?
Oh, I don't know. For the look of the beer, maybe?
Well, for the look of the beer or for the gold of afternoon sunlight, the snowy whiteness of a billowed foam, or for the taste or the rich mellow flavor, the zesty appetizing flavor you don't always find. Well, if you put all those things in, you'd be absolutely right. But more than those things, what they brew beer for most of all is enjoyment. Your enjoyment. The kind of enjoyment that makes you smack your lips and say, bring on another. Brother, that is the story of Schaefer beer. It's brewed for enjoyment, for perfect looks, for tops and flavor, for your enjoyment through and through. You try Schaefer today, and you'll see. You'll see it's real beer. We sure found it out, didn't we, Jer?
You said it, Al. Boy, it is real beer, Schaefer beer. Well, we move along to the last half of the sixth inning. It'll be Zimmer and possibly a pinch batter for Valdez as Sandy Ambrose is out in the on-deck circle now. And then Jim Gilliam. Zimmer swings and fouls her off upstairs, and it's strike one. Zim was called out on a strike the first time. The Dodgers have just one hit. Hodges led the fifth inning with a single to center field. Perky delivers a curveball that's in for strike two. Down it comes. High inside with the curve, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Valdez worked 3 2/3 innings and allowed no runs and no hits. And will very likely be lifted here in a moment. Fastball up high, it's ball 2. 2-2 on Don Zimmer. Sandy Ambrose has the station in the batting circle. 2-2 pitch. Swung on a high fly ball to right center field. Clemente going back for it, calling now as he and Verdon converge. Clemente near the wall, and he's got it for the out. Clemente making a basket-type catch deep in right center field. So Zimmer hit one far and deep to right center, is out. And here is Sandy Ambrose coming on now as a pinch batter for Valdez. Ambrose making his first appearance in the 1957 season. Pinch hitting in the sixth. So on Valdez, 3 2/3 innings, no runs, no hits, 1 strikeout and 1 walk. The windup and pitch by Perky, high with a fastball. It's ball 1. Newcombe started, worked 2 1/3, allowed 4 runs and 7 hits, struck out none and walked none. Sandy takes it in and over, and it cost him for a strike. 1-1. Gilliam is on deck, and then Samoli to follow. Perky checks the sign with catcher Hank Foyles. Winds, curveball is low, and it's ball 2. 2-1. Last half of the sixth inning. The Pirates 4, the Dodgers nothing. First game of a doubleheader. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside, around the knees, and it's ball 3. 3-1. Sandy Koufax in the bullpen for Brooklyn will no doubt be the next pitcher. 7th inning. 3-1 reading. High and outside. That is walk number 2 given up by Bob Perky. And up now will be Gilliam, who has flied out and grounded out, and Gilliam hitting .353 as he steps in. 6 base hits, 17 trips to the plate. Left-hand batter against right-hand pitching. Dodger fans want something to get going here. Trying to get the Brooks back in the ball game. Here's the pitch. Fastball for strike 1. Gilliam at bat, Samoli to follow. We have 1 out, 1 on. Ambrose pinch hitting for Valdez, drew a walk. Bob Perky, the big right-hander, checks his runner, delivers to Gilliam. On the corner with a fastball for strike 2. Frank Thomas III was in close. Now he backs up a step or 2. Dick Grote, the shortstop, comes in to smooth out some footprints in the sand. Now backs up. Infield just a slight bit to the right side and halfway for a double play ball. The 0-2 pitch. Swung and drilled to right field. Clemente waits in his tracks. He's there and makes the grab for the out. Gilliam lines one straight away to Clemente in right field. Throw away, and here's Gino Samoli. Struck out and grounded out. Gino hitting .267, has 4 for 15. So Samoli coming on with Sounder on deck, and then Frollo to follow. He checks first. Gino swings a drive to left center field. Back goes Burden, sliding over, and he's there to make the grab for the out. Samoli hit it well, but Burden was over there to haul it down. So that's all in the sixth for the Dodgers. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on. At the end of 6 full innings of play, the score in the ball game, the Pirates 4 and the Dodgers have none. Well, Al's standing by to check up on the Schaefer scoreboard and give us a rundown on all the activities. So, Al, how about it?
All right, Jerry. Let's see, in the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies and the Giants. At the end of 6 innings of play, it's all tied up at 1 apiece. Their first game of 2. Roberts pitching for Philadelphia with an 0-1 record, going against left-hander Johnny Antonelli, who is also 0-1. Kazansky and Sauer have hit home runs on opposite sides of the fence, both in the second inning. Cincinnati, Milwaukee in a single affair at the end of 3 innings. The Redlegs are leading the Milwaukee Braves 1-0. Johnny Klippstein for Cincinnati with an 0-1 record. Warren Spahn, the classy left-hander, who has 1 run and lost none. Bailey hit a home run in the second with nobody on for the Cincinnati Reds, his first of the year. Chicago and St. Louis, their first game of a doubleheader, delayed because of rain. At the end of 2 innings, Chicago 2, and the St. Louis Cardinals have 1. Kaiser pitching for the Chicago Cubs, and it's Herman Wiemeyer for the St. Louis Cardinals. In the American League, at the end of 5.5 innings, the Yankees are leading Boston 1-0. Sturtevant for the Yankees, Sisler for Boston. Skowron hit a home run in the 4th, with the bases empty, his 3rd home run of the year. Baltimore and Washington at the end of 6 innings, 7-6. Washington over Baltimore. Boyd and Severs have both hit home runs on opposite sides of the fence. For Baltimore, Beeman, Ferraresi, and Cornelius in the 6th. For Washington, Shackles, Clevenger in the 5th, Byerly in the 5th, Stone in the 6th, and Ramos in the 7th. Cleveland, Detroit at the end of 6 innings, tied up at 2 apiece. Garcia started for Cleveland, Marcy in the 6th. Gromek started for Detroit, Billy Heft in the 3rd. Marius a home run in the 3rd with 1 on, his 2nd of the year for Cleveland. At the end of 4.5 innings, it is 0-0 between Kansas City and Chicago. Morgan going against Wilson. Well, that's it, Jerry, right up to the minute.
Okay, Al, we have Sandy Koufax on now, the 3rd Brooklyn pitcher. Winds and fires. Fastball comes down and low to Bill Verdon, and it's ball 1. Verdon has flat out, been on the 4th out, and grounded out 3. He's none for 3 today and hitting .214 as he stands in there. The Pirates lead 4-0. Sandy Koufax lines and delivers. A bunt drag on the first base side. Koufax over for it, drops the ball and can't make a play. The ball fell out of his glove as Sandy picked it up and turned to throw. And he had an easy play until he dropped the ball out of his hand and grabbed it with a bare hand. Then it was too late. So it is an error scored on Koufax, and Bob Skinner comes on now. And before he steps in, let's pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodger Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO for the Brooklyn Dodgers games, and write to WOKO for the complete Dodger schedule of games at home and away. Yours free for the asking, so be sure to give your name and address. Write baseball, WOKO Albany, New York.
Bob Skinner, the batter. First pitch comes low for ball 1. Verdon on with a bunt and an error on Koufax. Sandy grabbed the ball with a gloved hand, and as he started to pick it out of the gloved hand, the ball popped free, and he grabbed it with a bare hand, and then he was too late. So 1-0 count now on Skinner. 1 on in the 7th inning. Pirates batting. Left-hander takes a call strike on an overarm fastball. 1-1. Frank Thomas on deck and Paul Smith down in the hole. The Dodgers and the Pirates at Ebbets Field in the first of 2 today on this fine Easter Sunday afternoon. 1 ball, 1 strike. Koufax delivers, and the pitch is fouled off as Skinner tried to hold up on the swing. The ball hit the bat and sliced off into the stands on the left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 on, none out, 7th inning. Koufax now beginning his 3rd year with the Dodgers, was signed as a bonus player in 1954. And in the 55 season, 1-2 and lost to last year. He had a 2-4 record. Overarm curveball bites low, and it's ball 2. Even up now, 2-2. Koufax, of course, a Brooklyn boy. And he had a very fine spring. Sandy looked very good in the spring training. Two and two. There's a foul ball again, sliced off to the left, and the count stays 2-2. Tomorrow, the Dodgers play the Phillies at Jersey City. Off Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday nights here. Play the New York Giants. Night games Wednesday and Thursday. 2-2 look. Here's the pitch. Curveball fouled away upstairs, and the count on Bob Skinner is still 2-2. Schaefer Beer sending you all the action right here at Ebbets Field. Newcombe started with tags for 3 home runs in the third, and then Valdez took over. Newcombe had yielded a run in the second. Valdez worked 3 2/3 innings, and now Koufax comes on here to begin the seventh. 4-0 Pirates. There's a long belt to right field. This one is tagged. This one is back. It is up and over the scoreboard for a home run for Skinner. And the Pirates now increase the lead to 6-0. As Bob Skinner belts one over the Schaefer scoreboard in right field for a home run. So Skinner gets a home run, and the Pirates now have built their lead to 6-0 with Frank Thomas coming on. Flied out, hit a home run, and was safe on a sacrifice and an error. A 1 for 2 for Thomas. Koufax winds and delivers. This one hit him on the left side, right above the belt. And Thomas on hit by a pitch ball. Koufax fastball came inside and hit Thomas right in the side around the belt. Here's Paul Smith up now. He has 1 for 2 also, hit a home run in the third. Left-hand batter playing left field for the Pirates. Pittsburgh 6 and Brooklyn 0. There's a bunt try, and it's fouled back into the wire. Strike 1. None out, 1 on, 2 runs in. Kenny Lehman, a left-hander, and Don Elston, a right-hander, now warm up in the Dodger bullpen down in right field. Elston and Lehman. Koufax delivers. Curve is in for strike 2. Smith moved up as if to bunt, pulled the bat out of there, and had it called anyway. 0 and 2 the count. Koufax checks first. Comes to the plate with a curveball, strike 3 call. The slow curve came in and over, and Smith had a look at it and is out on strike. Strikeout number 1 for Sandy. Up now is Dick Gross. Doubled, hit a home run, and on a fielder's choice. Right-hand batter waits. Koufax fastball comes down low, and it's ball 1. On first is Frank Thomas. In the inning, Verdon bunted and was safe when Koufax dropped the ball. Skinner hit a home run, and Thomas was hit by a pitch. Smith called out on strike. There's a foul ball straight back to the wire, and the count evens at 1-1. Dick Gross, the shortstop, up with Hank Foyles, the catcher, due next, and Mazeroski to follow after that. We're in the top of the 7th inning. The Pirates 6, the Dodgers 0. There's a ground ball to the right side, and a great stop by Gilliam. Turns, throws in time. Fine play. Gilliam moved quickly to his left on a ball that appeared to be going through the hole to right field. Jim went over spirited, and the momentum carried him around. He had to turn completely, and then fired to Hodges in time to get Dick Gross. And on the plate, Thomas moves into second. 2 away. Fine play by Gilliam. Hank Foyles, the catcher, coming on now. Sacrifice, pop out, and a fly out to right. 2 runs in, 6-0, and 2 outs with a man at second base. Pirates batting in the 7th inning. Koufax delivers. Curveball is swung on and missed. Strike one. Swing and a miss on a fastball for strike two to Hank Boyles. Nothing in 2 count. Boyles waiting. Koufax ready. Delivers. Curveball pop foul upstairs, and it's still strike two. Nothing in 2 count. Koufax set. Delivers curveball that breaks low. Campanella knocks it down, keeps the ball in front of him. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Boyles. 2 outs. Frank Thomas, the runner at second base. Pirates 6, Dodgers nothing. The Dodgers have had just 1 base hit today. Koufax ready again, checks and delivers. Swinging a fly ball to right field near the line. Perillo, a long way to go. Slows up now as he jogs in to make the catch for the out and retire the side. Boyles skies to Perillo in right near the line, and that's all. In the 7th, 2 runs on 1 base hit. 1 error, and 1 man left on. So that's the end of the top half of the 7th inning. And the score in the ball game, the Pirates have 6, and the Dodgers have none. So here's old Al making like a fortune teller, I bet you.
Yeah, that's right, Jer. I'd just like to ask the folks if they ever wish that they could predict the future. Do you ever wish you could say, for instance, just who's going to stop off to see you and just when over the weekend? Well, of course you can't, but you can be prepared. And you can predict what will happen if folks drop in. Sure, you can be prepared, and mighty easily, too, with a case of Schaefer beer. 24 bottles or cans, a really good weekend supply. And with Schaefer on hand, you can predict what will happen. They'll get real enjoyment out of their visit. That's what they'll get. Real enjoyment's just what you get in every single bottle or can of Schaefer. The real enjoyment of beer that's brewed for a real howdy neighbor kind of flavor. The kind of flavor that makes and keeps good friends. So better order a case of Schaefer right away. It's real beer. Standing and clapping music by Miss Gladys Gooding. Now after the 7th inning stretch, into the last half of the 7th, with Duke Snyder coming up to the plate now for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Snyder, Perillo, and Hutch. You got it, Jerry?
Right, Al. The Dodgers with 1 base hit. Single by Hodges in the 5th inning. Now Snyder waits. Grounded out and struck out at 2 trips. Perky fires a fastball to south side. Ball 1. Perky came to the Pirates late last year, was just in just 2 games, and worked a total of 4 innings. Swing and a miss for Duke, and it's 1-1. He was at Hollywood the remainder of the year, the first part, and he won 6 and lost 8, but had a fine earned run average of .336. Perky looks in for the sign. 1-1 on the way to Duke. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Perky's 180-pounder, stands 6'2". And he is a native of Pittsburgh. He first came to the Pirates in 1954. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Snyder waiting. Down comes the pitch. Outside for ball, and the count 2-2. In case you joined the plate, Vernon Law was the starter for Pittsburgh, and he was taken out in the 1st inning after suffering a pulled muscle in his side. And Perky took over and has allowed just 1 hit. That's all the Dodgers have in the ball game. 2-2 pitch to Duke. Swung on a grounder hit right back to the mound on 1 big hop. Play to first is in time, and it's 1 away. So Snyder bounces out, pitcher to first, and Carl Furillo comes on now. Say, fans, stay with us between games. Vin Scully has some very interesting guests he'll be talking to. Should be a fine show, so keep tuned in and keep an ear right with us. Schaefer Bear sending you play-by-play on this fine Sunday afternoon, Easter Sunday, from Ebbets Field. Doubleheader between the Pirates and the Dodgers. Furillo waiting, flat out and grounded out. Takes the first pitch for a strike one. Carl hitting .385 right now. 5 hits, 13 tries. Here's the next one. Curved, and it's low for ball. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Furillo. Called now. Perky comes off toward the third baseline to pick up a red rubber ball and toss it off to umpire Kenny Burkhart. Burkhart, up from the Texas League, is making his umpiring debut behind the plate today. Started out at third base and now has worked himself around to the plate. So he's getting his first National League chance as an umpire. There's a fly ball belted to center field. Burden comes in a couple steps. Makes the grab for the out, and it's 2 away. Furillo flies out straight away to Bill Burden, 2 down, and here's Hodges. Has the only Dodger hit in the game, a single in the 5th inning. He's flat out in the 2nd. Gill is hitting .357. And at the moment, Gill could be leading the club. Furillo now has 5 for 14, and he and Hodges are tied as they are, as Hodges stands there right now. First pitch is in for a strike. 2 down, none on, 7th inning. Perky winds and fires, and Hodges checks up but has it called anyway for a strike 2. You folks over around Jersey, don't forget tomorrow the Dodgers open up against the Phillies at Jersey City at Roosevelt Stadium. So make your plans to be there. Fastball is outside, 1-2. Bob Perky pitching to Gil Hodges. Randy Jackson on deck, and then Roy Campanella. Curveball is belted, a high fly ball to center field. Burden drifts back. Near the wall now, in left center, he's there, and he makes the grab for the out to retire the side. So the Dodgers go up and down again, 1-2-3. In the 7th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. And at the end of 7, the score, the Pirates 6, the Dodgers have none. Al, what you say there?
Well, have you seen the 1957 edition of the Dodger Yearbook? It's a dandy. 48 pages of anecdotes, stories, pictures, and records of the Dodgers, and that terrific Willard Mullen cartoon on the cover. And have you seen the brand new Schaefer Lucky Strike Baseball Guide and Record Book? Man, it's just crammed full of information. All-time records, complete rosters of all the major league teams, diagrams of the ballparks, a radio TV directory for every club, a fine piece on Pee Wee Reese and also Emmett Kelly. Boy, this is some book. Well, listen to this. Both these fine books can be yours for only 50 cents. That's what I said. Both the 1957 Dodger Yearbook and the brand new Schaefer Lucky Strike Baseball Guide and Record Book can be yours for just $50. Now, here's how to get yours. Send 50 cents along with your name and address to Dodger Baseball Book, Box 119, Brooklyn, New York. That's Dodger Baseball Book, Box 119, Brooklyn, New York. Yes, sir, the biggest bargain of the year and the finest in the Baseball Reading League. It's a fine gift for that youngster of yours, too. And remember, this offer is being made for a limited time only. So order yours today. All right, Jerry.
Top of the 8th inning, Mazeroski, first batter up. He's none for 3 and hitting 100 now. He has 1 for 10 so far in the season. First pitch is high for ball 1. Pitcher Bob Perky due to follow, and then Roberto Clemente. Pirates leading 6-0. Hits a ground ball to the left side. Zimmer comes in, scoops up, fires across, in time for the out, 1 away. Mazeroski grounds out Zimmer to Hodges. And now Bob Perky coming on. Has nothing for 2. And the fans, appreciating the fine work that Perky has done on the hill, give him a hand. He's combined with Vernon Law, who worked the first inning, to shut out the Dodgers here on just one base hit. Single by Gil Hodges in the fifth. Koufax delivers, and the fastball is on the corner for strike one. Koufax came on in the seventh, committed an error on Burden's bunt, and then yielded a home run to Skinner for 2 more Pirate runs. Curveball is in low, and it's ball one. Even up now, 1-1. The Pirates scored on a pair of doubles in the second by Grote and pinch batter Powers, and then had 3 home runs in a row by Thomas Smith and Grote off Newcombe in the third inning. Fastball for a strike, and it's 1-2. After the 3 home runs, Rene Valdez came on and worked 3 2/3 innings and allowed the Pirates nothing. Curveball breaks low, and it's 2-2. Valdez was in a jam in the fifth on a walk and an error. Then he came out of it without allowing a run. So the Pirates then rocked along until the 7th inning. They picked up those 2 more off Koufax. There's a foul ball back into the stands, and the count stays 2-2 on the batter, Bob Perky. Clemente in the on-deck circle off to the left. First game of the big Easter Sunday doubleheader. And a nice crowd on hand, and you still have time to get out and see the second game. Fastball is in for strike 3. Perky called out on strike. And by Koufax, strikeout number 2. Leadoff man Roberto Clemente coming on. We're in the 8th inning. Clemente has 2 for 4 and is hitting .375 as he has 3 for 8 on the season. Sandy Koufax, young left-hander, winds, fires. A bounding ball down the first baseline. Fair ball in there for a base hit. Ball peeling off in the bullpen now. Thrillo over to play it. Clemente around and into second base, standing with a double. Bouncing one just inside first. And as soon as the ball passed the bag, it kicked out foul and rolled all the way into the bullpen. Of course, the outfield was playing around to the left against Clemente, and Thrillo had a long way to go to retrieve. An easy 2-bagger for Clemente, his 3rd hit of the day, and hit number 2 off Koufax, and number 9 for the Pirates. So with 2 outs, Bill Verdon comes on now, and he has nothing for 4, hitting .200. Left-hand batter. Fastball comes inside, ball 1. Second game, Klein due to go for Pittsburgh, and Don Drysdale for the Dodgers. 1 ball, no strikes. As Koufax checks the runner, delivers. Up high for ball. 2-0. Ball popped out of Campanella's glove. Roy retrieves and fires it back to the mound. 2-0 the count. Pirates have a base runner, Clemente. 2 outs, 8th inning. Fastball breaks outside, and it's 3-0 now on left-hand batter Bill Verdon. Again, Koufax ready. Fires a strike. Verdon taking it. It's 3-1. First game, an hour and about 50 minutes to this point. Schaefer Beer sending you the play-by-play from Ebbets Field. First game of a doubleheader. There's a high bounder off the plate. First baseaway, Koufax takes it himself all the way for the out. Koufax on the dead run fielded the high bounder halfway between the mound and first base, and Hodges had come wide, leaving the bag open, and so Koufax just kept right on going and made the put out, beating Verdon to first to retire the side. So, in the 8th inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on. So at the end of the top half of the 8th inning, the score in the ball game, Pittsburgh 6, and the Dodgers have none. You know, after 9 innings of hustling out there on the ball field, a player kind of likes to sit back a while and relax. Well, I guess you'd go for some of the same after you've been working at the job or around the house, huh? Well, let me tell you, to really enjoy relaxing, you put a cool glass of Schaefer beer in your hand. Talk about pleasure? Man, that's it. A glass of golden amber Schaefer, tall and cool, topped off with a snowy white crown of foam. Why, it even looks relaxing. And when it comes to flavor, Schaefer's got it. The wonderful light and zesty flavor you want, but don't always find. You see, Schaefer is brewed only of rich barley malt, tangy hops, and other fine natural ingredients. So next time you're in the mood for some really enjoyable relaxing, do it with Schaefer beer. It's real beer. Well, time running out on the Dodgers' last half of the 8th inning. Jackson, Campanella, and Zimmer coming on now to face right-hander Bob Perky. Randy has grounded a double play and flied out to center. Batting average 143 as it stands at the plate. First pitch, up high for ball 1. Kenny Lehman now alone in the bullpen for the Dodgers. Don Elson was there a while ago. There's a bounding ball to shortstop. Big hop to Gross. Play to Skinner in time, and it's 1 away. Jackson grounding out short to first in the 8th inning for the Dodgers. And here's Roy Campanella now. Roy grounded out to short and flied to center in 2 tries. So Campy, hitting .231, is 0 for 2 today. First game of the Twin Bill, 8th inning. Pirates 6, the Dodgers nothing. Brooklyn going into today's game unbeaten in the season. There's a high pop fly on the first baseline foul, drifting over for it is Skinner near the stands, and can't make the grab. Ball fell out of play on the box seat. One count on Campy. Perky looks for his sign. Winds and fires. Curveball foul back, and it's strike 2. Swing and a miss, and down goes Campanella. Strike 3. For Bob Perky, that is strikeout number 3 in the game. And oncoming will be Don Zimmer. Don has struck out and flat out to right field. Right back here, and it's strike 1. Nothing in 1 to Zimmer. 2 for 13 for Zip this year. 1 home run and 1 run batted in. Another foul right back here, right below our broadcast booth. Strike 2 on Zimmer. The Dodgers have 2 outs in the 8th inning. Nobody on base. Fastball comes in high on the inside, and it's 1-2. Perky delivers. Curveball bounced out toward third. In for it comes Thomas. Big hop. Play across. In time for the outside retired. Zimmer bounces out. And once more the Dodgers go 1-2-3 before Bob Perky. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. So that's the end of 8 innings of play with a score in the ball game. The Pirates 6 and the Brooklyn Dodgers have none. Well, before we move along to the 9th inning of the game, let's pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodger Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO Albany. WOKO, the Capital District's most talked about station, with downtown studios in the Hotel Wellington. Immediately following the first game, 5 minutes of the latest news, and then, of course, the second game of the doubleheader, the Dodgers versus Pittsburgh. 1 minute before 4, WOKO time.
We'll be along to the ninth inning in a moment. Score in the ball game, 6-0, the Pirates leading. They picked up one in the second, 3 in the third, and 2 in the seventh inning. The 3 in the third were home runs in a row by Thomas, Smith, and Off Newcombe, the Dodgers starter. Nuke worked 2 and 1/3 innings, allowed 4 runs, 7 hits. Valdez worked 3 2/3, allowed no runs, no hits, and Koufax, now working his third inning, has allowed 2 runs and 2 hits. First batter up for the Pirates, Bob Skinner, had a home run last time up, and he has 1 hit in 3 official at-bats today. Koufax, left-hander, on the way with it. And the curveball is in for strike 1. There's a curve strike, and it's 0-2. Ball breaks down, and it's 1-2. Sandy Koufax winds and delivers. Full curve that's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bob Skinner. Frank Thomas on deck, and then Paul Smith to follow. Pirates batting in the ninth, leading 6-0 over the Dodgers in the first of 2 here today at Ebbets Field. There's a foul straight back, and it's still 1-2. There's a roller tap foul off to the left of the plate. The scoreboard shows that the Giants got a run in the ninth inning and beat the Phils 2-1. Roberts and Antonelli in a real duel there. We'll get the ticker information in a moment on our Schaefer scoreboard. The Yankees lead Boston, picking up 2 more in the 8th, 4-1 since 7.5. There's a swing and a miss, and Skinner goes down on strikes as Koufax really fired him a good fastball that time, and for Sandy, that's strikeout number 3. Up now will be Frank Thomas, who has 1 hit at the home run. Flat out, safe on a sacrifice and error, and hit by a pitch ball. So Frank is 1 for 2. Koufax into the windup. Fastball is swung on and missed, strike 1. Milwaukee leads Cincinnati 2-1 at the end of 4.5. The Cubs lead the Cardinals 3-1 at the end of 3.5. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on Frank Thomas. Our score, Pirates 6 and the Dodgers 0, playing in the ninth inning, top half. Here's a high foul. Coming off to the left, Campanella giving it a play in front of the dugout and makes the grab off in front of the Pirate dugout to the left side. Campy had to get around plate umpire Ken Burkhardt and then came on out to about 10 steps from the Pirate dugout for the catch. 2 away, and here's Paul Smith. Smith has 1 hit a home run, grounded out, sacrificed, and struck out. He's 1 for 3. Schaefer Beer sending it to you from Ebbets Field. A swing and a miss on a fastball, and Koufax now is really firing. When Sandy came on in the 7th inning, he was not quite as sharp as he is now. He really cranking up and pouring it in there. Curveball low, and it's 1-1. And as we said, Koufax had a very good spring. Time now as umpire Burkhardt wants to inspect the ball. Looks it over, throws it out, and gives Campanella a new one to pass on out to Sandy. Paul Smith subbing in left field for Lee Walls, who was spiked in an unusual play at third base yesterday. He was spiked by the umpire. had 4 stitches taken on the middle finger of his right hand. 1-1. Curveball popped up foul, back of the plate. Campanella coming back for this one, this time on the Dodgers side. All the way to the dugout, makes the grab right in front of the Brooklyn dugout to the other side. So Campy handled 2 of them, 1 on each side, and that's all for the Pirates in the 9th inning. No runs on, no hits, no errors, and none left on. So at the end of the top of the 9th inning, the score, the Pittsburgh Pirates 6, the Brooklyn Dodgers have none. Hey, what's the plan for tonight? Quiet supper, and chance to get together with the family, maybe? Well, listen. After the kids are tucked away in bed, when you relax with a paper or your favorite TV show, get together with Schaefer. Sure, you and your husband or wife have yourselves a couple of cans of America's oldest lager beer. You'll find there's a golden gleam to Schaefer beer, bright as a sunny smile, a cool, clean aroma, kind of like springtime. It's a happy flavor that goes with your good times together. And it's yours in a jiffy with Schaefer. Why, in the twinkling of a can opener, you can see the golden brew tumble into your glass and smell that fresh bouquet. Do it tonight. For real enjoyment, get together with Schaefer. It's real beer. Hey, fans, don't forget to stay tuned in now. Between games, we'll have a very fine show. Then Scully has some interesting guests lined up, and going to be coming to you right between the ball games. And, of course, we'll have play-by-play on the entire second game of today's doubleheader between the Pirates and the Dodgers. So stay tuned in. Don't go away. Just punch a hole in the can of Schaefer and sit back and relax. Keep your shoes off and have yourself a real fine afternoon. Here's Elmer Vallow now to start off and pinch hit for Sandy Koufax. Elmer Vallow pinch hitting for Koufax in the 9th inning. Dodgers restricted to 1 base hit today, a single by Hodges in the 5th inning. Bob Perky has worked 7 of the 8 innings. Vernon Law works the opener. Here's the windup and the pitch to the left-hand batter. Vallow takes it for strike 1. In the bullpen, Kenny Lehman throwing for the Dodgers in case Brookings should get a tie here in the last of the 9th inning. 6-0 Pirates lead. The pitch to Vallow, curveball for strike 2. As Perky took a little off that time and got it over. Vernon Law, the starter, was relieved in the 1st inning. Actually, he was relieved as he was due to bat in the 2nd. There's a high foul peeled off to the right. And down out of play. He went out of there and had a pulled muscle in his side. He'd worked the 1st inning in order, got the Dodgers out. And then Perky came in and took up where Law had started it and has allowed just 1 hit. Pitch is outside for a ball in the count 1-2. Valdez walked in the 3rd, and Ambrose batting for Valdez walked in the 6th inning. Here's a curveball up high. It's ball 2. 2-2 to Vallow, and those are the only 2 runners the Dodgers have had left on. Hodges, whose single was promptly double-played by Jackson. So the Dodgers have been restricted here by Perky pretty well in this 1st game. Fine and Drysdale due to go in the 2nd game. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled down off Hank Boyle's big toe, and it rolls back to the dugout. 2-2 the count to Vallow. Last of the 9th. Dodgers need 6 to tie and 7 to pull it out. This game at the 2-hour and 5-minute mark. We'll have about 20 minutes between games. And don't forget our visit with Vince Scully and his very fine guest. So stay tuned in. Vallow checks up, but it's ball 3. 3-2. So Elmer Vallow trying to get it to start. And in the number 9 spot in the batting order, this is the 3rd visit to the plate. And both times previously, there's been a base on ball. Here's the pitch. And it's high for a ball. And again, the number 9 spot is the spot that the Pittsburgh Pirates pitchers can't get out of there. Perky has walked the number 9 spot 3 times. We say the number 9 spot because once it was Valdez, once Ambrose, and now Vallow. And that's the 3rd walk given up by Perky. And it brings on Jim Gilliam. The totals on the Giant-Philly game, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Giants, 1 run, 9 hits, no errors for Philadelphia. Antonelli winning over Robert. Okay, Perky checks now at first base. And here's the pitch. Fastball high outside. Ball one. Gilliam at bat, Samoli on deck, and Snyder to follow. And the fans, of course, want the Dodgers to do something here and get busy. Last chance. Pirates lead 6-0. Now Perky ready again. Delivers. Gilliam takes it low for a ball, and the count goes 2-0. Schaefer Bear delighted to send you all the action, play-by-play from Ebbets Field. Roy Face now working in the bullpen for Pittsburgh. Just in case anything happens to go wrong with Mr. Perky here. Nothing count. Gilliam waits and takes it for a strike. 2-1. Last of the ninth. Dodgers batting. First game of a doubleheader. Pitch to Gilliam. High outside as Jim ran up to bunt. Got the bat out of there, and it's ball 3. 3-1 now on Jim Gilliam. Again, the stretch by Perky and the pitch. Ball 4, he walked him, and 2-on now. Walk number 4 given up by the Pirates right-hander. And the batter will be Gino Savoli, as none for 3. Struck out, grounded out, and slid out to center. Conference at the mound now between Perky, Dick Grote, and catcher Hank Boyle. Frank Thomas comes over now to join in the conference as Boyle comes back to the plate. So the Dodgers get a start here in the ninth, and the crowd becomes alerted to the possibility of a Dodger rally. And they kind of perk up a bit. And Perky kind of calm things down. Good crowd out today for this Easter Sunday ball game, and here now is time called as Skinner comes up at first base toward the mound. And they're calling for some sunglasses. Clemente, the right fielder, and Mazeroski, the second baseman, coming in, and also Skinner asking for a pair of glasses. So the bat boy and a couple of the others bring them out to him. Clemente, Mazeroski, and Skinner all getting the sunshades on. As old Saul peeks through the overcast and has to put the glasses on. Kenny Lehman, meanwhile, busy in the bullpen. Last of the ninth, Samoy the batter. Dodgers have 2 on and are trying to pull this one out and stay undefeated. The Pirates trying to get to a 500 rating of 1-1 and lost 2. Vallo on second, Gilliam on first. As Perky now comes to the rubber, ready to pitch. The fans come alive here at Ebbets Field. Time again now as Bobby Bragan comes out to have a talk with his pitcher, Perky. Bragan was waiting as long as possible to give Face opportunity to get all ready. And it may be now that Bragan's going to make a change. We had a conference at the mound. The time called for sunglasses. And now Bragan calls for a conference. And he points to the bullpen, and Elroy Face is going to come on here and replace Bob Perky. So, that'll be all for Perky, and we'll check him up. He's allowed just 1 hit. Worked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 innings. And he worked 2 batters in the 9th inning. He's allowed 1 hit. And no runs. Of course, the runners on base belong to him. He walked 4, struck out 3. So Roy Face will come on and be the 3rd Pirate pitcher. Vernon Law started and went out with a pulled muscle in the 1st inning after retiring the side in order. Perky came on, got the side out in the 2nd inning, gave up a walk in the 3rd, got the side out in the 4th, gave up a lead single in the 5th inning that got him out on double play. Yielded a walk in the 6th. Retired the starting order in the 7th. Again in the 8th, and now has walked 2 in the 9th and will leave the ball game and gets a fine hand. Bob Perky, a rookie right-hander for Pittsburgh, doing a fine job. Now goes on off as manager Bobby Bragan decides to come with his bullpen ace, Roy Face. So little Roy comes on and starts warming up, and while he does, let's take a look at the Schaefer scoreboard and give you a reading. Final score, the Giants beat the Phillies 2-1 in a good one at the Polo Grounds. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Giants. 1 run, 9 hits, 1 error for Philadelphia. Antonelli the winner, Roberts the loser. 0-2 for Roberts, 1-1 for Antonelli. Kazansky a home run in the second, none on. Sauer in the second, none on. And at the end of 6 innings, Milwaukee leads Cincinnati 2-1. Spahn against Clipstein. Chicago leads St. Louis 3-1 at the end of 4. Kaiser against Wiemeyer and Cheney. And that's the first of a doubleheader. In the American League, the Yankees have 4. The Red Sox have 1. There's been a pitching change in that game. Grimm replaced Sturdivant in the 8th inning. Sisler working for Boston. All right, ready to play now as Gino Simoli comes on here in the 9th inning. 2 on, 1 out, and the Pirates lead 6-0, and Roy Face is on now to do the pitching for Pittsburgh. Roy Face stepping in. On stretch, check of the runner. Simoli waits and takes the fastball in off the hands inside. Ball 1. We have a pair of right-handers now working in the bullpen for the Pirates. We'll check them up for him, get the numbers, and pass them along to you in just a second. 1 ball, no strike. Base ready, delivers. Fastball for strike 1 to Simoli. The count evens at 1-1. Snyder on deck and thrown on the hole, and the Dodger fans feeling the big end of the order coming up here, really whooping up for a Dodger rally. Base stretches again. Runners move off first and second. The look in the pitch to Gino. Swinging a grounding ball to third. Thomas down to second. 1 on to first. Double play. A throw. He dropped the ball at first base. The throw was in time, but it was dropped by Skinner for an error. And Simoli draws a life there. Forsythe at second base on Gilliam is 5-4. Third to second. And Simoli's safe. And there's no error rule. You don't assume on the double play try. No error. On the play, Vallow takes third. The throw had him beat, but it dropped by Skinner, and it might have been there was a little bit to his right on the outfield side of the bag. No error charge. Runners at first and third, and Snyder is the batter. 1 out, 2 on. Simoli wraps 1 to third. Now the stretch by Face, and here's the pitch. Swung on a chopped down foul right at the plate. Strike 1. Even though the throw had Simoli beat, it was a little bit on the outfield side. And Skinner, a right-hander who fields with the left hand, had to cross over and make a grab at it and drop the ball, although the throw was there ahead of Simoli. No error charge. Strike 1 on Snyder. Face ready. Checks and delivers. Duke swings and misses. Strike 2. Snyder all the way around on that one. Churn now working in the bullpen for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Kenny Lehman for the Dodgers. 0-2 to Duke. Face delivers. He swings and misses. Strike 3. Down goes Snyder on strike. That is strikeout number 1 for Face. And up now will be Carl Furillo with 2 outs and 2 on here in the 9th inning. Duke was a little angry at himself that time. Came back and slammed his batting helmet on the ground. Last of the 9th, 2 outs. Furillo at bat. Face now checks the runners. First and third. Delivers to Carl inside. Ball 1. Starting the 9th, Bob Perky issued walks to Vallow and Gilliam, and then was replaced by manager Bobby Bragan, and Face induced Simoli to bounce 1 to third. Thomas got a force at second base on Gilliam, and the throw to first dropped, and Simoli drew life there. Vallow at third, so we have 2 on, 2 out. The pitch to Carl. Swung and belted left field. This one's tied. This one is back, and it's in there for a home run for Furillo. pops his second home of the year and keeps the Dodgers alive with a line shot in the lower stands in left field. And it's 6-3 now in favor of the Pirates. And Ferrello now becomes the fourth player in Brooklyn history to reach the 900 mark in the RBI column. He now has 902. Hodges at bat now, trying to start it all over again. Face delivers, and Gill takes it in for a strike. Strike one on Gil Hodges. 3 runs in here in the ninth inning, and 2 of those runs charged against Perky. Strike 2 on Hodges, 0-2. So on Perky, 7 innings, 2 runs, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, and 4 walks. 6-3 in favor of the Pirates. Pace delivers to Gill. Swung on and foul back upstairs, out of play. Strike 2 on Hodges. 2 walks and a home run by Ferrello. Elroy face into the windup, and down it comes. Swung on a top foul. Back upstairs again by Hodges, and it's still strike 2 on Gill. Labine now is working in the Dodger bullpen in right field area. And Chern and Hall still busy for the Pirates down in left field. Strike 2 to Hodges. Pace winds and fires. Curveball is outside. 1-2. Ferrello belted one to left field in the lower stands, right over the Schaefer sign. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and the ball game is over as Hodges went for a breaking ball down low and is out on strike. So in the ninth inning, for the Dodgers, 3 runs picked up on 1 base hit. No errors and none left on. And so the Pirates and the Dodgers their first loss of the year by a 6-3 score here this afternoon in the first game of a doubleheader. The totals in the ball game for the Pirates, 6 runs on 9 hits, no errors, and the Pirates left 8 men on. For the Dodgers, 3 runs on 2 base hits, 3 errors, and the Dodgers left just 2 runners stranded. The winning pitcher was Bob Perky, and the loser was Don Newcombe. Newcombe now 0-1 on the year, and Perky is 1-0. So the ball game winds up with the Pirates getting 1 run in the second, 3 in the third, and 2 in the seventh, and the Dodgers using a home run by Ferrello with 2 on in the ninth inning for their runs in the game. The Pirates highlighted the game with 3 home runs in succession in the third inning by Thomas, Smith, and Gross. Those came with 1 out against John Newcombe, and Newcombe at that spot was replaced by Valdez, who then went on and worked 3 2/3 innings that allowed no runs and no hits. Sandy Koufax came on to work the final innings and allowed the Pirates 2 runs and 2 base hits, walked none, and struck out 3. So it's 6-9-0 for the Pirates and 3-2-3 for the Dodgers. 3 runs, 2 hits, and 3 errors, and 2 left on. 6 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for Pittsburgh with 8 men left on. Vernon Law, as we told you, started the ball game for the Pirates, got the side out in order in the first inning, and then had to retire as it was his turn at bat in the second inning. He had a pulled muscle in his side. And then Bob Perky came on and worked all the way until the ninth inning. He walked 2 and then was relieved by Roy Face. Well, that wraps it up. We'll be sending more play-by-play your way in about 20 minutes when the Dodgers meet the Pirates in the second game. You be sure and be on hand. Meanwhile, this is Jerry Doggett speaking for Vin Scully and Al Helfer, saying so long for the American Tobacco Company, America's leading manufacturer of cigarettes. On behalf of Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. And for the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of America's oldest lager beer, Schaefer. Between now and then, whenever you're thirsty for real enjoyment, make it Schaefer. It's real beer. The final score again, the Pirates 6, the Dodgers 3.